leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Gandhi, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been golden when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a
board.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Freaking the more to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in shoes. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. Had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't already done so, do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below. Then head up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We greatly appreciate it. Warms up the algo, lets everyone know we're here, and does us a real solid. We're also live over on YouTube as well as the Abstract Streets on Steve's account today. We're also live on Steve's X feed if you're looking to drop into that video. Appreciate all those GMs. As always, I'm Cap Jim and my co-host Steve. Never any financial advice in the show. Crypto's risky, NFTs are risky, meme coins exceptionally risky, and go to zero to moment's notice. Please don't put any money you can't afford to lose. Know that Steve and I will also hold tokens that we'll talk about from time to time in the show. We are not financial advisors, certainly not your financial advisors. Don't join us for that. Just join us for some fun, some information, and some education along the way. Happy Friday the 13th, GM. Steve, how you doing, sir?
GM, getting my bearings. GM to everyone out there, by the way. GM Von Frontin in the chat. Bordeaux Saka, Dunk Cookie coming through. Mesh always, Von Frontin always coming through multiple chats. Diablito, Big Bear coming through multiple chats. Big Bear has become a multiple chatter along with Bordeaux Saka, RDL, and some other friends out there. We got Teacher Katie, as always, in the abstract chat with Thomas, Green Edge, Dwayne, Diablito, always a Von Frontin out there. Wild Von Frontin appears in every single place. I believe he's on a plane at the moment. I'm not positive, but he's still just out there just getting after it. GM to the folks in the give us a favor, give us a like, a retweet, a comment out there. Dort's getting his Rekt Drinks this morning. Good to see you out there. Tebow, might see Tebow here pretty soon. Dobbins, Diablito, Ark Invest, Aspiring Nobody, Dwayne, Teacher Katie in multiple chats, General Wise, good to see you out there. Kazi, Clay, hoping for those Thunder tonight. I don't know, man. The Pacers just feel like Team of Destiny vibes the way they've been playing. Booching, Thomas, Mike C, everybody out there, appreciate you in the chat, seeing you out there this morning. Yeah, this morning, a little bit hectic. So behind the scenes, sometimes Cap and I, we just lose track of time in the morning, whether we're prepping or we're taking dogs out. We both have morning stuff. I got kid stuff going on in the morning. And yeah, I right before Cap texted me, I'm sitting there, I'm prepping for the show, and I'm reading about USDC Shopify. I'm looking at the Jupiter news, and I hear Legendary on Modern Market drop. All right, well, I guess that's our show for today. And I'm like, wait, what? And I look down, it's 8:00, and then I get a text from Cap, you jumping in? And sure enough, there it is. Almost always one of us is texting the other one at like 7:59 once a week at least, saying, hey man, what's going on there? And sure enough, we're starting it. So running a little hot this morning, but interesting day for sure in the market. You can't predict world events. I definitely pretty much top blasted Kaito. That happened.
I actually kid you not. I don't know why. The thought I had this morning, I'm at the gym. I kid you not, Steve. I'm like, oh man, Steve really top blasted Kaito, didn't he? He's going to be bitching about this for the next several months that I got him into Kaito finally. He was the top mark. Funny. This is not a bit. I actually had this conscious conversation this morning for probably a half hour at the gym. I'm deliberating in my own head how pissed off you and just like curmudgeon you're going to be about top blasting Kaito because you absolutely marked the top. You might have bought the Pico top at least the local top, huh?
Not quite, but pretty much, yeah. And the best part about it is I thought I top blasted Kaito yesterday. And today, Kaito was down 10%, down to $1.38. I think I bought it at like 180, 190. You were saying you wanted to buy and stake some more. You got your wish. Now's the time to go get some more. Oh, the good news is I did that yesterday. So So I'm not a ton more, but definitely a little bit more. So I am just getting absolutely I'm trying to choose my words carefully on a day like today because there's just certain words. Like I heard people saying the market was nuked, and it's not the ideal day to say that. Getting killed on Kaito, maybe not the right words, but getting absolutely bombed. Oh my God, dude, I can't find any good word to say this. Market's down. I bought Kaito at the top. Not great. I'm not doing this on purpose. I'm just trying to be really careful here. Not great though. I got absolutely smoked on Kaito is probably the best way to put it so far. So I may buy more, actually. I may buy more. I'm not stable enough though. I'll be honest. I'm normally kind of stabled. I'm pretty good at it, and I'm not. To tie all these world events together in a probably inappropriate manner, but we're still in quote open, so I think we get a free pass for like the first 15 minutes of the show. What's your honest, like genuine feelings about the Halibon? About the what? Halibon. I've probably pronounced it wrong. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, all the Tyrese Halliburton memes. Oh, Halibon. Yeah. I'm more of a Al-Qaeda guy myself, but I don't know, man. It's we're at a point in our world like we can laugh at this kind of stuff, right? It's not like we're not going to get canceled by me saying I think the memes are funny. Yeah, there's a lot of. It's kind of bold though. I don't know where it originated, but probably. I'm pretty sure we would have not seen this like even a few years ago. Like we did. So pretty sure it originated with PFT on Pardon My Take. He's one of the more clever people you'll ever hear. He's incredibly smart, and he comes up with nicknames like that are like borderline inappropriate at times. I'm trying to think of another one, but the world misses Stuart Scott. That's what's happened. Like that's why I think it's not even really that funny. He when he was talking about the top picks, to give you an example, he was talking about the top picks in the draft a few years ago. He was asking if you were a Stroud boy or Team Bryces. So I mean, he plays around with the language quite a bit to give examples of that. So no, I look, you're not gonna have to sell me on Stuart Scott. He's like one of my childhood heroes. I literally cried when he died. I watch his speech regularly, like once a year. I try to watch his speech that he gave at the ESPYs before he died. Have his book. Like I've never actually thought about this. What happened to the world of sports? Like we had Chris Berman, we had Stuart Scott, and now it's like,
What happened to those personalities?
Well, I mean, culture change. So Sports Center through the time we were in college was a thing. The internet changed that. And then
It's not personalities, but it's like we got dealt Stephen A. Smith. What happened?
you might run
What
for
happened?
president.
Why? Why
You
did this guy be put on a pedestal? Like, I don't even care. I'm not knocking Stephen A. Smith, but it's like relative to like Stuart Scott, this is the big voice we have today. Like, what went wrong, Steve?
It's just, I mean, it's just the way that the problem is that we needed Stuart Scott. So Stuart Scott did a specific type of job. So it's funny because Chris Berman has been on that show, Pardon My Take, I mentioned. And the reason he really likes them is because he's like, you guys are what we were. Nobody liked ESPN. Nobody liked Sports Center. You had to be very buttoned up. Sports were so serious. And Sports Center was the first evolution of not taking sports too seriously. It was, yes, it took it seriously, but it was Stuart Scott and Scott Van Pelt and Dan Patrick and Keith Oberman, and they were making the jokes and they were playing off each other. I think what happened is we don't need to get our sports news anymore. So the reason we like Sports Center is people, I think one of the reasons there's authenticity in content is really big right now, right? Like people like Joe Rogan because he doesn't have a filter. He interviews people. Sometimes he gives, junk science and things, but generally speaking, he talks about things.
Did you see the Oz? Did you watch The Mentalist? The one he had, Oz the Mentalist one?
I have, I will say this, are you familiar with Oz the Mentalist before this?
Is it Oz?
Yeah. Are you familiar with him?
Apparently no. I was, but I thought it was pronounced Oz. So yeah.
I thought it was Oz, but either way, I thought this was going to be another Chris Williamson situation. Oz is insane. Like I've seen him many, many times doing that stuff.
Are you in person?
Huh? No, but I've seen, I
don't get it. I can't like, it's like, I don't know, man. I know like magicians have tricks and stuff. This is like, I don't know, man. It's pretty freaking wild.
Oh yeah. No, Joe Rogan was like uncomfortable. I didn't watch the whole episode, but I've seen the clips. He was like uncomfortable and doesn't like it. See, I love magic. I'm a magic guy. I want to watch the magic. There's a great magic show actually right now on Netflix where this magician with a sense of humor like helps people get back at their friends and family who have done something wrong with magic-based pranks. So like, I mean, it's good. Like, I don't want to do too many spoilers, but they tee it up. They used creative magic where they did one where he like convinced like this woman that she was on a date with a ghost because she ghosts people too often. So like he basically acted like a ghost and like they used all these tricks, both magic and otherwise. And so anyway, worth checking out on Netflix. It's really funny. It's like, I mean, Dawn and I watch it and we love it. But no, I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand Oz the Mentalist, or I thought it was Oz. Maybe it's Oz. I thought it was Oz. He is. There's no logical way to explain the things that he does and how he does them. But I mean, this was David Blaine back in the day. David Blaine with street magic was inexplicable. David Blaine was like, here's a card, check your pocket. And with him never touching the person, their pocket had a card in it that had their initials on it. Or like he would like burn something into his like arm that you wouldn't be expecting. Like David Blaine did this. David Blaine walked so Oz the Mentalist could run. Like it's like he's insane. So no, I didn't watch the whole episode, but I was definitely well aware of him beforehand. I show his clips to people all the time, and people seem less impressed than me for some reason. I'm like, how is this not impressive? It's insane. So it is
insane.
Yeah. No, it's that sort of stuff is like, it makes you wonder, like, how do you do this? And because he does the things where he's like, call a person in your phone. Like he had Rich Eisen call someone in his phone and like say who their childhood crush was, and he knew the name. And it's just like, I don't know. It's different than cold reading. Like cold reading, I get. Like I get when you watch the people who are like, oh, there's an M over here somewhere. Oh yeah, an M. Oh, it's your aunt. Oh, she did. Oh, I'm seeing that she wants to send you a message. She loves you. Like that's like child's play compared to what he does. He's just elite at whatever the hell this is.
Jumping around here, but you might have some good news coming from your Kaito staking. Open Ledger just announced $25 million in open rewards via on-chain incubator Open Circle, and 2 million open allocated for Kaito yappers. Might exceed expectations.
Good. We'll take whatever I can from that, although I have not been yapping about Open Ledger, not super familiar. One of the ones I know we're working on potentially getting on the show, but I I saw Joey come up here. I don't know, Joey, if you wanted to do some cold reading here and tell me who my childhood crush was or anything like that. But Joey, GM.
GM, guys, I came up because my childhood, waiting for my friend's mother to pick us up to pick me up like on the way to school in the morning, was sitting in front of my TV and watching Sports Center and MTV music videos. Like, that was the ultimate era of like TV, in my opinion, was real music videos in the morning, not like real MTV music videos like back in the day, and Sports Center. And anybody who's young and is a sports fan will never understand how great ESPN and Sports Center was before they turned into like an entertainment network, when it was really just like sports reporting. The old school ESPN, it's elite. Like what we have today with all these like talk shows and like debate shows on ESPN are nothing compared to it was so great. But Elite Morning was like having breakfast in front of the TV, flipping whenever there was a commercial on ESPN Sports Center, was flipping over to MTV and watching music videos, waiting to get picked up for school.
Yeah, it's hard because technology, like, I think without we will nostalgically live that like the same way we nostalgically lived. Like, I mean, you're a Florida guy, but we would live in my neck of the woods and Chris's neck of the woods, watching the scroll on the bottom of the TV until like it scrolls, and then it comes the third time and our school's on there and we're off for a snow day. Like, that was fun. But the truth of the matter is, it's more efficient for snow days when I get a text from my school that tells me the night before, so I don't have to worry about waking my kids up, or maybe even in the morning. It's easier to get sports news and information anywhere you can on an app directly in the palm of your hand. And the music videos, I literally can pick any music video and listen to any song and any music video or anything I want in the world of any live performance or otherwise via YouTube or with my family. In fact, some days when we've had a couple cocktails, maybe we're hanging out at night, you know, wife and I will just go and turn on music videos and just go to YouTube and just pick the next one we want to watch and just kind of like, you know, like throw through various eras of time. So I agree with you. I miss it. Kids will not know the joy of, see, to me, it's like that was my childhood, Stuart Scott and that. But even like crazier than that, there's like eras of it. There's that era. And then there's the era of when we went to college, Cap, when we were in college and like Ohio State wins a big game and you're up and you're not going to bed and you actually watch Sports Center loop around like twice to get to the like you watch your thing, you hang out, you're drinking, you're like, and everyone's like, Sports Center starting and Sports Center, everyone shut the fuck up. We're going to watch. And you watch the highlights all over again because Ohio State's leading the show because they won, you know, the 1-2 versus Michigan or the Holy Buckeye against Purdue. And you watch Sports Center and you want to see the replay and you want to hear that call again. You're like, oh my God, Stuart Scott made the craziest call here. He actually dropped the booyah. It's like the Mike Breen bang, right? It's like you want to get that. So those moments were crazy. I probably am doing what I'm doing now because of Stuart Scott. I wanted to become a sports anchor because of Stuart Scott. That led to me being a television reporter. That led to me being the sports director at the student TV station at Ohio State. It was him. It was Chris Fowler. It was Kirk Herbstreit. I have a picture of myself, Dawn, Kirk Herbstreit, and Chris Fowler on the field in college when I was covering Ohio State. My first year before I was professional in suits and stuff, I was like geared up in all my Ohio State gear to cover. I think it was a game-winning field goal. It might have been Purdue. It was either Purdue or Northwestern, I think. This year they went out when they played Phillip Rivers and stuffed T.A. McClendon on the 1-yard line to win in the shoe, I believe, that year. But yeah, man, it's like that I wouldn't be here if it weren't for that run. And now it's like, you know, the next generation of entertainers are going to watch people on YouTube, and people like my son and others are going to be doing this potentially when they grow up because of it. So it's just a different era, but I agree with you, Joey. I miss it. It was awesome. It has that sense of nostalgia tied to it. Yeah, it's a pretty exciting time. Cap.
Carson Daly got a lot of shit back in the day for being like kind of like a goofball, but you can't tell me when you were younger you didn't rush home to like watch the top, like the what did he do? It was
Total Request Live. And it was
Total
Request Live, and you would have, remember the shots they would have where people would be able to vote live in like a payphone down there, like that even mattered compared to the votes that people would call in on a touch tone phone, and they would vote for their favorite songs. It probably was rigged when you think about it, because they probably didn't tally all those votes every day. And then they would give a top 10 music video, but they had a phone in where people would be like, my vote is for, I want to vote NSYNC, bye, bye, bye. I love you, Justin. And they would like be calling from the phone. Like, it was just, Disavow, Puff Daddy stopped by like all the time, became the biggest thing in the world. Like, he hacked attention, showing up for free to Total Request Live all the time.
And they were in Times Square, and you could like see them. It was like glass windows, and you could see them from the street, and everybody in the street would be like cheering for them because there was only like 20 people in the studio. And then they would do Total Request Live spring break, and it was like on site spring break, and you're like 14 years old, and you're like, man, I wish I could be there for that. And it's all like the college kids.
Yeah, you were like 14 and you're like, I'd love to be there when Lit's playing My Own Worst Enemy and Carmen Electra comes out and whatever, like that iconic moment. Or there's a lot of iconic spring break moments you can look back to. A lot of Pauly Shore stopping by for that one. He had a moment there where he was a big time spring break host guy. But, I don't know, man. Like, people want to be a VJ. I'm trying to think what those cultural staples are now, because we had these. Cap, this actually goes to your thing earlier. I know we're cold open and we'll get out of it in a second, get to Web3, but this is actually a nice distraction from what's going on in the world. It makes me very uneasy thinking about what's going on in the world. You talk about the fact that we haven't had real culture since 2000 and we look largely the same. Like, there was the 70s, the 60s, the 80s, the 50s, the 90s. Like, you have these things. You can't go to a 2010s party.
It's the death of music video. Music video killed the culture.
Maybe
the death of the music video killed our culture.
I think the internet, is it the internet? Like, we don't have cultural, I think these options, maybe it's because they're options. Think about the Joey mentions the cultural staples. If you're into sports, you watch Sports Center, you knew that. That was what you needed to know about. Did you watch, like, you got to school? Did you see that call Stuart Scott had this morning? You're like, oh man, they had the B team on Sports Center this morning, right? Total Request Live, cultural staple, right? TGIF, cultural staple. You're watching, Family Matters and Full House and Step by Step and
Step by Step.
Yeah. You're watching those on Friday night, right? Thursday night, Friends. Some people, a person or two watch Seinfeld, right? It's like the cultural. You went to the theater when the big blockbuster movie came out. Oh my God, Mission Impossible is going to break all the records. Do we have cultural staples anymore? Like, what are the Super Bowl's the only one we have left, right? Like, what are the American cultural staples that you watch, gather around, must see? Like, I'm trying to think of what those cultural anchors are. And but I think this answers your question, Cap, is we don't have cultural anchors.
Yeah.
That I think that's where we turned into the Sports Center guys. The fashionable people watch Total Request Live and the people there, and they stapled into that. Like, we don't have those cultural anchors, do we? Like, what are they?
We don't. I mean, it would be. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what the comparable would be. Probably some fleeting viral moment, like the TikTok dance of the week. Like, I just don't know. Like, I don't think anything sticks long enough anymore.
Yeah, like some random viral video, I guess. To your point, like, if something kicks up enough that it's like our cultural staples are who wins in a fight, 1 man, 100 man, or 1 gorilla. Like, yeah. These are cultural staples now that my kids bring up.
Talking about, like they'll be finally remembering their favorite memes, like we remember Sports Center.
Nicole says,
there's like no, to your point, there's like no, like, what does your family gather around for?
Nicole gets
right?
it.
Like,
Nicole wins.
What?
Nicole gets it. That's it. This is it. It's evolved into now. It's like the Eras Tour. It's Mr. Beast. It's Kai Cenat's Streamathon. Like, it's this sort of it's geared towards individuals more so than establishments.
Yeah, I Show Speed just dusting Ashton Hall in a race. I don't know if you saw that. That was amazing content. Like, I Show Speed. I like I Show Speed, and I hope he's not bad and doesn't get canceled because I only have a surface level understanding. I saw his China trip where he did some crazy stuff where he like got out of this like impossible to escape like pit, because instead of trying to run up it like most people, he like, it's a pit that's like very steep. He ran around in circles until he like ran his way up it. Ashton Hall, the guy from the morning routine who's like running, obviously very in shape, faster than the average person, wanted to race I Show Speed. He raced him 4 times and smoked him 4 times. And he's just yelling, you're slow, which is hilarious because like Ashton Hall's not slow. Aisha Speed's is very fast. But yeah, you're right.
Aisha Speed's actually like an elite athlete. And if he wasn't a streamer, he'd probably play some type of sport because of how much of an elite athlete he is.
Yeah, he's incredibly athletic, but no, I guess Nicole nailed it. The Eras story.
I was gonna say, do you think there's like, I don't think there's a single thing like when I was little or younger, right? Like there was reasons for the family to get together, right? Like you said, TGIF on Fridays, Saturday morning cartoons. Like we had like throughout the week, we would like America's Funniest Videos on Sunday nights, right? Like the family would all get together and watch America's Funniest Home Videos. Or like my family would all get together and watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. Like we had these moments throughout the week where your family would get together and that was like what you did. I don't think we have that anymore.
So
like what is
we do?
When is that now?
So we do in my household, but it's driven by my kids. So my son is actually pretty good at like, like we've tried our best to be a raise a good set of like secure, awesome young kids. And my son will be like, look, I want to see the new Dogman movie, or this movie's out and I want to see this movie, or this is interesting, and he'll ping something out. And so what we do is we have a list, we have a whiteboard that anybody can put anything on. So if I say, I want the family to watch Happy Gilmore, it's my movie night, we pick it. If my daughter has a movie night, she might say, all right, we're going to watch Moana 2. And my son might say, hey, we're going to watch, Elemental or something. So we do it in a way where
but that's a movie night, right? Like we have a movie night, but is there something like from our childhood that you could think of today, like a weekly thing that your family would do because like you gathered around for it versus my movie night?
Well, no, I mean, like, yes and no. Like, I think streaming makes it more convenient, but I think, like, for us, it's not necessarily a appointment television thing. There's very little appointment that's appointment television for us. Actually, I would say, like, Game of Thrones is appointment television. It would get ruined for you. I remember, like, there was a person who hadn't watched on Sunday night, and a person who was, like, a leader at the organization goes, so how do you feel about Hodor the next day? And everyone was like, no, because they've been like, don't spoil, and they just walked up and said it. So like there are appointment TV things like occasionally the sort of Game of Thrones of the world. I think for a lot of people that was Severance. But for my family, it's like we watch my son has no interest, but my daughter, my wife and I will watch Survivor. We watch The Challenge and we watch Big Brother. We won't always watch them live because of kids' activities, but we will always stream them after the fact. So this is the equivalent of when we were kids, we would have recorded them on cassette tape and we would rewatch them if we were doing it. So
VHS. Cassette was what you listened to. VHS is what you watched.
Right. Cassette was when you recorded your favorite songs on the countdown and it would be like number 9.
The mixtape you would make for your crush in middle school.
Yeah. It's like you wanted to put the song on them, but they just played the beginning. It's like number 4 and it would have that on it. But no, it's
or you would hold your phone up against those speakers for your voicemail, like for your answering service, and then you'd be like, I'm not home, leave a message.
Yeah, the old answering machine back in the day. There was a clever answering machine message was always the coolest. When you called someone, you're like, damn, their dad's cool with that answering machine message. But yeah, I don't know. I think there are less cultural. I think Nicole's right. Eras Tour, Mr. Beast, things like that. I think there are less cultural staples, though. I think it's more fractured than it used to be. And I think that is probably why we don't have the same amount of like driven trend-based culture. But there's also probably a positive to that, Cap, where I probably would say my kids are more individualized than we were. We probably more were like, hey, these are the trends. So you either are an Abercrombie kid or a this or a that. My daughter, I took her to the mall with her friends. My daughter's wearing like leggings and a sweatshirt. Her one friend is wearing big old puffy jeans and like sort of like something that looks like Britney Spears would wear to like the MTV VMAs. And her other friend is wearing pajama pants and a pair of New Balance shoes. So like, I think the individualism is actually probably a good thing. But I just don't think those exist. Shout out to Jambert in the chat saying, CA Steve, can you adopt me? Fam sounds awesome. Much respect. My fam is awesome. I love my kids. I love my wife. And we have a great little family that I am very, very proud of, and 2 wonderful Labradors. But Cap, look, a lot to get into. might be appropriate. Give us a like or retweet a comment on the room as we get going as usual. Maybe it makes sense to start with the daily market update sponsored by our friends over at ApeCoin and ApeChain, because market's nuking, and you can even talk about the top lasting of my Kaito. Want to do that?
Sure.
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by ApeCoin, no hype, just gains. Moving on ApeChain, we bringing the heat. NFTs, fence alpha, never miss a beat. ApeChain on top, now we bringing the flex. The home of NFTs, these now what's next. Come on, my head top, but you want the time and chop off for one time.
It is time for the daily market update powered by ApeCoin, the home of NFTs. ApeChain has it all, bringing fun, culture, and community to the blockchain. Dive in and see why ApeChain is on top. Cap, we're bleeding, man, this morning. We are not looking great on the charts.
Yeah, pretty bloody market update today, but we will we'll dive into it here, starting with the Coinbase 50. Bitcoin down 2% to 104,789. ETH still holding 2,500, 25.28, down 7% on the day. XRP down 4% on the day, $2.15. Solana down 8% to 144. Doge down 7% to 17 cents, and Cardano down 6% to 63 cents. Runes, we're going to skip over those. Memes are all bleeding out. SPX, Murad's coins, the biggest loser, down 21% on the day. Pepe down 13%. Shiba down 7%. Trump down 4%. Bonk down 11%. Looking for some green here in the charts. These are, Aura, I guess, had a solid day. A meme that got a pump out of nowhere. Arrow is the main DEX on base. It's up 18% on the day somehow. NFT land, we've got other deeds up 5% on the day to 0.169. Apes down 2%. Doodles down 5%. Whoever told me I should have sold at 1.05 the other day before it gets to 0.1, you were right. Doodles speed running to zero, it appears.
Are they going to recover at some point? Like if we get a bounce? I'm sitting here and I thought about it at like 1, and it's just like, what again, I'll let you get through the update, but like, it's probably just as much a personal thing, I think, on both of us. It's like, what do we even do here at this point? Is it even worth the sale at this point? Is it a sunk cost fallacy? Is it a falling knife? Like, what's going on there?
I don't know. I mean, this today is probably not fair because everything is, well, not everything. Most are bleeding out today. But the challenge with this is, I think this is a buying opportunity today when the markets are getting crushed. There's a sell-off because of, world geopolitical turmoil. Assuming it doesn't carry on for forever, like there's going to be a bottom. It's going to bounce. The problem is, I don't know if they will. Like, I don't know, man. It's not trying to make an attack on Doodles, but I'm getting more confused the further they go along, and I still have no idea why they dropped Dude when they did, and I don't know what they're doing over there. I like the team. I need to know more until I have any sort of confidence, and I don't think DreamNet's going to be the catalyst that's going to help it recover. And in fact, I think when they launch it, if they launch it like Dude, I think it leads to even more of a sell-off. So yeah, to answer your question, I don't know. I'm probably just going to let it. I don't know. Like, and that's the worst part. I probably should just let it fly because I don't have confidence in the rebound. But at the same point, it's like, what's half a 0.93? I may as well just, maybe I'm wrong and they hit a home run and then I look wise for holding. But little Pudgy's down 4% on the day. Big Pudgy's basically flat at 9.24. Mutant Apes down 3% to 1.99. I don't know DX Terminal, Base Paint, and Penunks. These, I believe, are all base collections. Yes. Well, let me wrap this up here. That's our daily market update brought to you by ApeChain. ApeChain on top. This is base just one big wash trade. I feel like everything I see on base, it's the meme coin's running. Brett meme coin running. Oh, it's just a highly manipulated pump and dump.
I think there's a couple things going on here just to give you context. So,
by the way, 80 some one whale sold off 81 Miladies yesterday that sent it down even before. I think they're down even more than the 6% on the day. after a big sell-off. But go ahead.
So I'll give you the base paint alpha on this is I know you haven't been you have been fading the OpenSea missions, which I will continue to try to push people towards. There was one that like base paint became, so this is actually a weird thing that's happening. And actually, if you get admissions early, there's actually a little bit of an ARB potentially where you can the base paint was like there was like buy like a $10 or less or $10 or more NFT collection, and base paint was like $10.14. So I bought one and immediately listed it and sold it. I think at a little bit of a gain. I'd have to check. It might have been a little bit of a loss, but it's like a matter of like cents, right? And a lot of these collections on base in particular, when there's an NFT collection that goes up on OpenSea with certain requirements, people run to the base ones because they're no gas, really. It's easy, it's liquid, it's quick. And so there was an NFT one like 2 days ago, I think it was, that's expiring today, like buy an NFT for 10 or more. And I bought a base paint, which was actually cool. I almost kept it for $10 and then I sold it. I agree with Floor's Me, by the way, Floor Lime. Floor's Lime. Got it. Floor's Lime. In the chat saying base paint is a cool project. I actually think it is a cool project. It was cool. I almost held on to it, but then I was like, I actually sold it and put the $10 into Kaito when Kaito was like 20% higher than it is now. So I think like some of what you see with the stuff on base is people are using it when they have those like sort of like OpenSea missions. I think OpenSea missions have a chance to drive a lot of activity.
I hate it. I hate the farm. Longer it goes on, the more I hate it. It's just like, what is this accomplishing? You're like, I think this is, I had a draft. I didn't send it. Maybe I should. Maybe they don't do this. But if they go to TGE and you have people that paid tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in fees to OpenSea because they transacted a lot, and they don't want to do these silly missions to go buy something to sell something just so they can farm. And then someone who's got $20 in a fresh wallet, but has completed all the missions because they're just farming it, and they end up getting a bigger allocation than the person who paid, $700,000 in fees to OpenSea. They're gonna drive away all their high value customers. I'm not saying you're this farmer that I'm referring to, but I'm sure there's people that are just purely farming this. They're not real users. They're not going to stick around and actually use the platform afterwards. And I just am not a fan of, like, just give the fucking allocation. Just reward your users. Just do the TGE. Don't force people to do stupid shit that they don't want to do to drive fake transactions and fake participation on your platform. I'm not a fan of it at all. And I think maybe a little bit of it is the PTSD from Magic Eden, where I feel vastly overpromised and underdelivered, overhyped up. Oh, we're going to reward your historical activity. OpenSea has a chance right now to win back those users and I think set themselves up as the dominant NFT marketplace. If they do this the way it appears to be heading, they're going to turn a lot of people off, and the people who could be their largest high dollar users, their highest value users, they're not going to use the platform if they get diluted because of Cybele farms.
So I agree with this take partially, but I think you need to I think this is one where we need to level set on a couple of things. I think number one, first of all, to be fair, they give you the playbook. There is an article from their CMO the day that this dropped that said
I'm choosing not to play the game. I tried to play it. It was broken and it wasted a ton of time. I had a bunch of failed transactions. I did the thing. I bought the thing. I spent the $5 and then it still didn't give me credit. And it's like, I wasted an hour one weekend fucking around with the OpenSea farm. And I'm like, this is so fucking annoying. Like it's turning me off from their platform. So I was just too early and it was broken the day I tried, but
there was
frustrating.
There were some people who had some issues, I think, on day 1 or 2, and there are people who have reported things, but they I think for a lot of them, I'm not saying this is you, but for a lot of people, they didn't read the instructions. Like people will be like, what the hell, man? I bought an NFT and it didn't work, and then they didn't buy an NFT from a verified collection. But to give Mad Banana Union, God, that's a cool, I know it's probably a PFP project. I like Mad Banana Union, and I like that little Donald Trump banana. It's kind of funny. To answer your question, what's the deal with press transactions? So Adam Hollander, disclosure, buddy of mine I've known for a while. He's the CMO over there. I think he's done a great job at OpenSea. He said 3 things will be rewarded. Number 1, your historical activity will be rewarded. Number 2, their people who use the platform currently. And I think that's an important thing to say, is that people who just did a bunch of transactions and basically have shit on OpenSea for like 2 years, like 3 years, 4 years, like, I think rewarding the people who use the platform currently genuinely is important, right? So that's
I agree. Then do that. Reward people who go buy Good Vibes Club and hold them. Reward people who buy.
They have.
I know.
You got to create.
I think all that's great. I think what is diluting people who are using the platform as they should is the stupid farm. Like, we don't want to do these fucking farms anymore. It's just, it's fake. It's fake. It's fake KPIs. It's fake transactions. It's not real users. Like, it's diluting the people who are doing the things you want them to be doing.
I don't think so at all. Honestly, like, well, I mean, I respect your opinion on it because you feel that way, and so you probably represent a lot of people. I actually I enjoy doing this.
It feels like a penalty if you're not playing the stupid farm, versus they can say they're rewarding historical transactions. How it's actually happening. They're absolutely making it feel like I feel penalized because I'm not doing the stupid farm, because I don't want to use the platform that way. I don't want to have $55 transactions just to buy something, to sell something. It's fake. Like, be real. Like, reward real activity. Don't force us to do stupid shit. Like, buy a $5 Solana meme coin.
Yeah, see, that's where, again, like, to me, like, that's where I disagree, because I think one of the things they need to hammer home is that they have more products on there than just an NFT marketplace. And I think for them to be successful, they need to be more than just an NFT marketplace. And so to me, that is what they're doing, is they're showing you the different things, and you can choose not to participate. But I think, like, the rules of the game are the rules of the game. And I think for me personally, like, one, the thing that we probably disagree is I like doing this stuff. Like, I enjoy the missions. I enjoy completing them. I enjoy getting the XP. I have had no issues completing anything, no issues claiming. But I will say, I'm not saying this is you again, but, like, I see a lot of people who don't read
bad farm. Like, it's just another bad farm. Dobbins, I agree with Cap. These farms are dumb. Just reward the people buying assets and holding. Farming always cuts our bag down, and it's annoying. It is. Anyone who's not doing the farm is getting diluted. Like, you can't tell me it's not happening. And it's not like there's other like you, but there's also, you can't tell me there's not people who are just farming this thing. Like, you can't tell me there's people that don't have 100 accounts out there, just multi-accounting and diluting the real users. We've seen this play out time and time again. You'd think they would learn, stop doing the stupid farms that we don't want to do. Like, reward the real users, not people who are doing stupid transactions.
Well, I know that they said they were going to look for people who were trying to game the system, so they're keeping an eye on that. I believe that they had said that at one point. But also, again, I'm representing myself. I'm enjoying doing it, number one. So I'm enjoying doing it. Respect that you and Dobbins don't. That's just a difference of opinion. 2, I think them rewarding people who are driving activity on their site is important. 3, I think showing people their different products and chains and highlighting them are good, not just for their partners, but actually for the people who are using the platform. I do token swaps on there now, where I previously didn't. And so it's like I swapped into some Kaito this morning, even as we were on the show, just to be like, hey, what the heck? Like, let's do it. I'm going to, do a little more.
They should be rewarding that. Not force you to go buy some shitty meme coin on Solana.
But I think a lot of people wouldn't even know that you can do that if you weren't using it. They get a feedback mechanism for the different things that they're doing. I agree, like, they should, but, like, like you mentioned, like, you should get rewarded for a Good Vibes Club. They rewarded people a large allocation of XP who bought and held it and didn't sell it, right? Like,
that's perfectly fine. I'm not complaining about that. That's, like, you don't have to over farm it. Like, just do the thing. Like, you don't have to force, like, if you want to make us do one transaction so we know that you can do swaps, cool. It's just, if they drag this thing on for 6 months, man, it's going to get, it's already gotten old. Like, I'm already annoyed by it, and I feel like it's like the first inning.
Yeah, see, and that's the opposite. Like, I'll do this thing all day and get the little bit of an up and advantage because I'm enjoying it. And there are probably other people who do, and there are people who don't. I just think, like, I think personally, like, I think the opinion is fair. I do think it's a silly hill to die on not to do it, because why wouldn't you do things that are pretty, like, I mean, Payne said it, call a spade a spade. They need to go transactions to make their numbers look better. I think they need to drive transactions to make their numbers look better. They also need to help partners, which they are with partner chains. It's an appealing thing to come on. They also need to introduce new products to people. Like, I still talk to people and they don't know OpenSea has a reward system. They don't know that OpenSea has token swaps. They don't know that OpenSea has multiple chains. Like, they think of Magic Eden as this multiple chain. Like, they have to make that dent in the market. I respect that people don't like it, but again, like, personally, like, I actually do like it. I enjoy doing it. I look to do them, and I see it as an opportunity to continue. So I would just say, like they are going to reward all those 3 things. I don't know what priority they're going to put in. It's a hard balance to any sort of airdrop, but they need to drive the type of actions that they want to get people to do them. And it's a pretty easy thing to say, like, we want to show people we have multiple chains. We want people with multiple tokens. I think it could go on for a while.
Do I need to go do that 7 times to realize that? Or is one of those journeys enough? One of those voids.
But that's for you. I literally talk to people who don't even know they have a rewards platform, let alone that they have multiple tokens. So you need to introduce those actions.
Why do they have to keep doing it though? Why can't they just do one voyage?
Because people don't all complete it and they don't know.
The people who aren't, I don't think that makes sense. They don't know that they have a voyage for tokens. Like having 7 voyages to go swap a token isn't going to get those people.
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than being like, why do you run the same 10% off deal like 10 times a year? Couldn't you just run it once? Like, no, they need people to know that it's there, and multiple people not knowing it's there. You need to run multiple different types of voyages. Like, that's like cross-chain swaps. I mean, again, your opinion. My opinion is I like it and I enjoy doing it. So it's like I think that's fine. Like to disagree on it. It's just I think like from a marketing perspective, they need to run it multiple times because multiple people who aren't aware of where it's there are trying to do it, and they want to reward people who are paying attention. And frankly, like, I'm paying attention. It gives me a reason to come back to their platform every single day. It reminds me to use their platform instead of other ones, and it reminds me to token swap on there. And I think that they need to have that daily active user activity for people to continue to do it. So we'll see.
I just like to counter the 2. I think Abstract is doing a million times better with their pre-TGE farm than OpenSea. They're hiding it, not forcing us to do things we want to do, rewarding certain things. Like, I greatly prefer rewarding people who use the platform as the platform's intended to be used, and it's much more likely you keep those users. Like, the people who are using Abstract today are likely going to continue to use Abstract. The people who are farming OpenSea today are likely not going to continue to buy $10 NFTs and do $5 token swaps on OpenSea post farm. Some will, but many won't. Whereas I don't think Abstract is going to have a big fall off post TG because people aren't farming it like that. It's just, I don't know. I think
you're looking at it. I think you're looking at it all wrong, though. I think you're looking at it all wrong. You're like, oh, they're not. Am I going to go on and buy random $5 base NFTs? No, but now I'm aware that that's the place that I will go to do it, and that's the whole point of it. And along the way, I'm getting points at times.
How many more times
money.
do you need to do that though to be aware?
But that's not the point. The point, well, number one, like, it's creating a habit and continuing it, because I don't think like even the token swaps. I'll think about, like, I'm going to do it in MetaMask, or I'm going to go do it in Uniswap or whatever. So like the token swaps is a regular reminder for me, but it's also for people who are just discovering, just getting on, just figuring it out. It's trying to create the habit. For me, it is. For you, it's not. That's fine. But like, I think it's a little bit of Monday morning quarterbacking, or a little bit of, that's not the right word for it. It's a little bit of flip-flopping that people were complaining about not knowing how to farm Abstract and wanting more clear guidelines. And now it's like, whoa, they're giving us clear guidelines. I don't like those.
I don't ever complain about that.
Lots of people did. You can't.
Not me.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, again, you're an individual. You're an individual. Well, no, actually, I'm going to check the tape. I'm almost positive that you complained about the fact that you didn't know exactly what to do and you wanted more of a clear target. I'm almost positive. I'm near certain.
Now, having been in multiple weeks and seeing a comparison to OpenSea, I greatly prefer how Abstract is doing this as opposed to OpenSea in the it's just a very repetitive farm, forcing people to do something. And I believe it will dilute their most valuable users. That's why I think it's just poor. Like, I understand the logic behind why they're doing it. I just think they're missing the forest through the trees, and their most valuable users are going to go farm things like Hyperliquid instead.
Yeah. See, I think, like, I think different strokes for different folks. And I also think it's like, I wouldn't fade it. I think it's probably about the easiest thing that takes you like 4 minutes a day tops, and you're all set on that. And, just using it for something where it's like you said, token swap $25 in Kaito and stake it, and you've dollar cost averaged a little bit. Diego, let's go Diego, and then Joey Vowels, get him back in here. Diego, GM.
Hey guys, good morning there, Captain. Don't hate OpenSea, Captain. I mean, if you have fast activity on Ethereum using OpenSea, you are good to go because they are not gonna let the OG users out. I'm pretty sure that they analyzed the way that Magic Eden did their airdrop, screw all the OG users. The tasks or quests are very simple. You know, it only takes 3 minutes, like Steve say. So I'm not an OG user of OpenSea because I mainly trade NFTs on Solana. But I can imagine that OpenSea is aiming here to get total control about the NFT marketplace and place to swap tokens because they added the Solana tokens. I'm pretty sure that they will add support to trade Solana NFTs and also rooms because they want to have all the market. And they have the advantage in this case that they could analyze the way that other marketplaces like Magic Eden, as I said before, or Tensor, or even Blur with the farming thing, they can analyze the things that they did and what went wrong and try to do something better. So if you are an OG user of the OpenSea, I'm sure that they will honor that activity that you have in the past and complete this simple quest, and maybe you're gonna have a multiplier. I'm pretty sure that they can see who is using multiple accounts from a certain date to the day that they managed to do the token generation event. So I don't think the civils or farmers gonna screw the other people.
Yeah, and look, I would say, like, the other thing I'll say, Cap, is like, and like, there are people who agree with you. I don't have time or want to farm 3 wallets. Totally fair. Like, like people basically saying, look, I know I'm fading this. Cap, I think part of the point Diego made there is actually an interesting one we hadn't brought up, which is you have historical activity. You definitely had, like, talked about OpenSea blowing a 3-1 lead and not liking him and all these other things. Like, maybe you're using the platform again because you heard they had a token drop coming. But, like, for him and a lot of people, like, if they're sitting there and they're using OpenSea now a little bit, but not a lot, like, the farm gives them a chance to learn about the products and catch up. For them, they'd be like, oh, so these historical people who maybe who aren't even using the platform are getting the same airdrop as me. Like, it's just giving another option, another thing to do. And again, like, I think it's fine if people don't like it. The rules of the game are the rules of the game. There's probably some fine tuning they could do, to your point. Like, maybe it's less frequent. Maybe it's different types of missions. Maybe it's like, I'm almost positive at this pace, they're probably going to pump the brakes. I kind of hope they don't because so many people are fading it and I'll keep doing them. And, but I think there's very little financial downside to doing the farm. And it's like anything else where it's like, it's like I just think it's like looking at the world the way it is as well, where it's like Ethos. I didn't check in Ethos regularly. I didn't get around and do it. I didn't farm it properly. I didn't get a validator. That's 4 ETH I flushed down the drain that I definitely could have gotten, right? Like, I think there are things that exist like that it's like, people have daily tasks and activities, like checking in a Myriad market, whatever it is. It's just another daily task and activity to do. It's making more people aware of what they do. There are still people not aware of the reward system going on, still people not aware of their token swaps, still people not aware of their multiple chains. So they're going to keep doing it. And it's just, to me, it's like, people who weren't in the space in 2021 and 2022 are getting the option to play a little catch up. People who were in the space there and are still there could increase their allocation. So to me, it's just, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it's a no-brainer to me to kind of keep doing it.
One last thing, guys. By the way, if you manage to get the shipwreck drink, you can claim some XP that you have on your request just by connecting with your Astra global wallet. I only bought 2 cases of the drinks and I got like 800 XP. It could be something, it could be nothing, but who knows? Go and claim it.
Yep.
And wish you a very good weekend for all you guys. Thank you.
You too, Diego. Yep, I claimed that shipment of the XP. I think I only got like 50 though. I claimed 2 cases, but I bought them on secondary. I didn't buy them on the primary, so that might have been the difference. Chief in the chat saying, I love it because it reminds me of Starbucks Odyssey. Kind of feels the same way. But they're laying out the playbook. I have both use both and trying farm as best I can. Hopefully it'll pay off. I don't even like. I think that's not like, I didn't think of the analogy that way, but like Starbucks Odyssey was use and try our products and get various points. OpenSea's saying use and try our products and get various points. So I don't know. It's a farm. Joey Vowels, get in here. Joey Vowels going.
So,
there we go.
oh yeah. So I'm like half Steve, half Cap. So like I'm only doing the voyages that like I want to. So like I'm on Team Cap where it's like I'm really not going through the trouble of buying $10 art NFTs or $10 base NFTs that I then have to list or WETH or whatever. Like I just don't care. I'm doing the token swaps because they literally take 30 seconds. And I'm swapping them into token, and I'm doing like token swaps for things that like I already hold. So like I swapped for some virtuals. I swapped for some Kaito. I swapped for some unicorn fart dust. Yes, I still hold it. God forgive me for not selling the top when they were on Coffee with Captain and it hit like 440 million. But like I've basically just been doing tasks that like I'm okay with spending money on, right? Like I bought $10 worth of virtuals because I already hold some virtuals and it was a task. So I'm on Team Cap where like it's kind of annoying that they're asking me to buy, worthless NFTs. But then I'm on with Team Steve where I get it, right? Like they're trying to market their platform in a way without actually marketing it, right? They're saying like, instead of putting on a whole marketing blitz of like, look at the new OpenSea, look at what we do, and running ads and all this stuff, instead they're saying, here's what we do, and you could earn rewards, right, by exploring what we do. So it's like a different style of marketing, I guess you could say, versus the traditional, like, let's run a whole ad campaign around the fact that you can now buy and sell tokens and swap tokens. So I see both perspectives. And like I only have, I think, like 1,300 XP, so I don't have a ton, and it's because I'm only doing the ones that I want to do, which maybe will hurt me in the end. But I'm just not buying $5 and $10 NFTs because I think it's dumb. Like I think that's dumb. For me personally, my personal opinion. No shade on anybody else that's doing it, but that's just my perspective.
Absolutely no shade on anyone doing it. Go get your bag. It's Dunk Cookie sums it up perfectly for me. It's turning me off. Like it's turning me off of the platform, which is the opposite effect I think you want to have pre-TGE for farming your platform. Like you want to drive users, not turn them off. I know I'm not the only one who feels like this too. So it's like, yeah, I get why they're doing what they're doing. I just think that it's played out. It's in where it's very, 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 very different from Starbucks Odyssey. Starbucks Odyssey, everyone was on the same playing field from launch. This is, you have people who have traded millions of dollars on this platform. And now you're forcing them to jump through silly hoops like this, or they're going to get diluted. And it's just like, that is a real risk that they're potentially alienating, turning people off, alienating not just your new user that you want to come and explore your platform, people that will when they want to go buy a autoglyph, they're going to go to your platform and drop a few $100,000 on a NFT that you're going to get several $1,000s for. You come out with a TGE, and the person with $20 in their wallet who played every game and did every swap you wanted to, they end up get a much bigger airdrop than the person who spent $1 million on their platform. Like it's,
well, I think you're getting in a tizzy over like not knowing their allocation and how they're going to do it yet. I think it's a little bit of a ridiculous assertion to be like, I used your platform years ago and don't use it anymore. What I would much rather see is a bunch of people
don't use it
wait,
anymore.
No, wait. What you're saying is you would much rather see a bunch of people wash trading like out the wazoo and not getting XP points, not using their product. Just go wash trade a bunch of Bored Apes and things on their platform, and then they get a good airdrop too.
Absolutely,
because that's what you're saying. Like, because like if they just said, but that's how it would play out in practice. Is my point. You're saying if they said, hey, we're going to airdrop historical and current activity, what would people do? Hey, TGE's in 4 months. They're just going to go do a bunch of wash trading, and then those people are going to get the crazy airdrop.
I'm not suggesting they do that. What I'm saying is how it's structured currently, how they're doing it, and having so many of these. Like, there's no purpose of these tasks. I get they want to show. Okay, I understand I can swap tokens on OpenSea. I don't need to do it 17 times. I get it. Like, do something else. It is a very
would it make sense if the voyages didn't expire and it was just like do a token swap once and it was open for 30 days versus do a token swap, expires in 24 hours, then do another token swap which expires in 24 hours.
I'm being forced to do the same thing over and over and over again if I don't want to get diluted.
Yeah, but that's Joey, it's almost like they want people to come back to their platform every day to be reminded to use it. Imagine that.
Stop being so smart, Steve.
Yeah, wow. What a concept. Having a reason for people to come in and do something daily. Now, again, are there modifications they can make to the program? Sure. Maybe they have a daily check-in that requires absolutely no money that's free, like they've done on some of the others. They've had a lot of free tasks early on, and they don't have as many now. So maybe it's a daily check-in. Go star a collection. Come in and do this, like tweet this, respond to this. Like, sure, they could do other stuff that maybe introduces more free tasks, which is fair. But if you're going to ask me if they should be trying to get people to come back to their platform daily and use their platform daily and remind them of all their products, I'm not going to say that's a bad strategy. And I'm also going to do it because it costs me nothing. It's like I maybe lose cents in swaps and sales. And I think like part of it is like, again, like people historically being like, oh, well, I just want all my historical, give me my free money and then I'll never use your platform again and give me a historical airdrop. Or if they say like, we're going to reward people currently using it, you're just going to get a bunch of people who are just going to be doing a bunch of activity. All they did was introduce a third element. If you want to go wash trade, you can go wash trade. If you want to wait for historical, you can use historical. They introduced a third element, which gives people the option to use their platform, check in daily. And I bet you more organic users will come out of it because they will actually know the products and they aren't having to just go on and trade large, sums and basically blur farm on their platform. So like, to me, like I it's one of three elements, and people being upset because it's diluting their airdrop who don't use the platform, who used the platform 3 years ago. I just don't buy that as a good logical reason because someone doesn't want to come in and spend 15 seconds a day on their platform. So that, again, just my personal take, and I also enjoy it, and I will continue to use it. So I think it's a logical thing for them to do. Now, again, could they tweak it? Sure. Maybe it's less voyages. Maybe it's more shipments for activities. Maybe it's free daily tasks instead of having to do all these things as much. Maybe they like flip them up a little bit. I think there's probably room to improve on that as they figure it out. But I also think it's a new platform that's been out a period of time. If the problem is like it's happening too frequently and there's too many of them, deliver that feedback. I think it's fair feedback.
The problem is it's the same. Like maybe I've just missed it because every time I log in, it's like buy a cheap NFT that you're not going to keep. You're just going to sell. Do a $5 token swap just so you can reswap it. Like it's the same voyages over and over again. They're maybe changing it from $5 to $10. Maybe changing it from base to main. It's just like. It is like
but changing the chains that's a pretty big thing, changing the chains, because people don't know about the chains or know about the multi-chain swaps or certain things. And so I think like I get it, like they only have so many products they can talk about. So maybe it's less frequency.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
But I think that's fair feedback. I think that's not the reward system is stupid. I think it's like less frequency is totally fair. Like I think that's
in my head, why I think it's stupid is I think they play this thing out for another 6 months and we go through the same thing every week. I'm already exhausted by it. And I think it's just getting started. That's where maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do TGE next week and it was a sprint. I just think that I already feel this way. I know I'm not the only one. And I think if they drag this thing out 6 months, there's going to be a lot others that they actually turn off their platform because it's so frequent, boring, monotonous, the same voyage over and over again with a slight difference. I don't want to do it. Like I use the platform. I'm not someone who only used it back in 2021. I don't want to have to log in every single day to do a $5 token swap or buy a $10 NFT. And that's all I've seen of the voyages. It's just the same thing worded slightly different. I don't know.
Which
maybe
again,
maybe it's a short live and I'm making too much of a deal out of it. But if this drags on for 6 months, I think there's going to be a lot more people who are going to get really sick of it.
Right. Like, I mean, Jammer's saying, like, feels a little bit tedious. Got to keep it fresh. I do think, like, Dunk Cookie, like, this is the hilarious thing. Reward my natural behaviors and affinity, not forced ones. Sounds awesome on paper, except everyone complained about Abstract not knowing how to farm the XP for, like, the first, like, 2 months of it. So it's like, it's just such a funny like thing where it was like the feedback was like, I don't know how this works. It doesn't make sense. And now it's like all of a sudden the feedback's like, wait, you're telling me exactly how it works? I don't like that. And I also think it sounds great on paper to say reward my natural behaviors, but then you're going to be upset because you're going to look and see this.
But I'm not. I've been saying week in and week out. I'm enjoying the abstract. I'm using the chain exactly as I would. I don't expect to be the top 1%er, but I'm doing okay. I'm in gold and I'm getting decent XP for not being forced to do it. I enjoy that greatly. And now having experienced that, I'm very much so pro abstract farming compared to this. It's a tired way of driving.
So what you would rather do is you would rather use OpenSea for whatever you use it for, then each week you get an allocation of XP and you don't know why you got it or how you got it. And you're watching people talk it on the timeline. Like, you're basically...
Yeah, because I think if that was the case, I don't think they're going to because this is farming activity that they're rewarding. That's my point. They're rewarding non-real activity. They're rewarding forced activity. That's the problem.
But that's like being like Starbucks is rewarding forced activity when you buy a different type of drink in their rewards program instead of your black coffee.
It's so different. I drank the coffee. I got something from the coffee. Like not a $5 NFT that I gotta go now sell for $5 or sell into a week.
Yeah, but if I'm like, I bought like a latte that I'm gonna drink like half of and not like because it got me the rewards in the rewards program, it's the same thing. But like to me,
I drank the stuff I got.
Right, but okay, again, you're being very specific to yourself, which is, you have opinions. It's a show. It's an opinion show, like, right? But like, I think like to be like you're rewarding people for using their platform and learning about their new things. Again, I think if we dig in and the piece of feedback is the frequency is a little too hot, that's fair feedback. I think if the frequency is we shouldn't have any sort of farming activity or we shouldn't have any sort of rewards activity based on using things on the platform.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Reward the actual real activity. Don't force farming. They're forcing farming activity, not rewarding real activity.
They're introducing people to new products. Like the frequency is one thing, but to say like you shouldn't get XP because they're introducing you to a cross-chain token swap, which I bet you the majority of people on the timeline still don't know you can do cross-chain token swaps in OpenSea. Like if you're saying like, oh, they shouldn't reward that or force people to do that.
And I would say if that's the case, then I'd say their farm is not working. If that's actually the case. Because I've known since they launched it, I've known they've done token swaps. They've tried to force me to do it multiple times. I've done it. And now I have to keep doing it. Otherwise, I'm getting diluted.
But that's just how the timeline works. It's noisy and attention is hard to get. And so like, I think it's like, look, like if I'm digging in here, I think part of it is you're just sad that your like big airdrop's going to get diluted from 2021 and 2022 versus what's going on here versus the new people who are actually getting involved with it. But like your choices are either A, you only have historical activity and people who would blatantly wash trade now, large numbers, and the biggest wallets are going to get rewarded, or you give people who are able to, at a lower cost entry, the ability to actually participate in this thing. Again, if frequency is the problem,
option, which is actually how I'm using it, is I'm using the platform. I'm doing some of the voyages. I'm annoyed by the voyages. I'm going to get my airdrop and probably never use the platform again. Versus abstract, I'm going to continue to use the platform.
But I mean, you're comparing apples to oranges when you're comparing abstract to OpenSea. You're comparing something that has a bunch of native apps on it. That is such a, so basically me and a whale are a mammal. So let's compare the two. Like, come on now. Like you're talking about like a thing that rewards.
I'm talking about two pre-GE tokens there's current active farms. That is the.
Are you being serious or are you being disingenuous right now?
I'm being dead serious. We're talking, go look at the Kaito pre-TG leaderboard. They're both on there. I'm talking about a pre-TGE.
So farm. You think that the OpenSea and XP and abstract XP are analogous when abstract has dApps, NFTs, token swaps, all the things on there that are native to the chain that you can do, games you can play. I can't play Gigaverse on OpenSea. I can't go and and play Death.Fun on OpenSea. I can't use the platform in that way. I can't stream on OpenSea. I can't comment and tip on OpenSea. Like those farms are tangibly different if you're looking at how they're doing.
I didn't say they're the same. I say they're two pre-GG farms, which they are. What am I saying is not accurate there.
The point, but you're saying like, I like the way abstract is doing it. They can't do things because they can't pull the same levers though. They can't pull the same levers at all. Not even remotely pull the same levers. You're being serious right now.
Why
you
can't?
Think so I can go play games on OpenSea and I can go stream on OpenSea and I can go tip streamers on OpenSea.
If OpenSea wanted to do that, you could.
No, you can't. They can't integrate a streaming platform.
Why not? Pump Fun did. Pump Fun was a token launcher. They integrated streaming.
It's a ridiculous assertion to say OpenSea.
Netflix was a movie streaming platform. They integrated gaming.
You think it's a logical thing for OpenSea to integrate a streaming platform?
Maybe.
Zero chance. What are you talking about? For what? How does that fit into their business model at all? They're an exchange.
Pump Fun is a platform.
I really can't tell if you're fucking with me with this stuff this morning, with these takes this morning. You think that Pump Fun, which thrives on the culture of buying and selling coins at a high frequency and launching it based on the cult of personality, is the same as OpenSea, which does token swaps and NFT exchanges? Like, you think it is? Well, let me back up. You think it is logical for
swaps? OpenSea, you can do token swaps now. Like, that's the world they're heading into, is the token swap game. Why couldn't they launch something that a token swap platform does? They could if they wanted to. They're not. I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying it'd be wise, but I'm saying they could. Pump Fun was the first token launch platform to introduce streaming. There was many other launch pads before. None of them introduced streaming. Like,
I mean, they could.
Abstract was the first.
They could launch. You know, refrigerate. OpenSea could launch refrigerator sales too. It doesn't make sense.
Glass didn't have streaming. You know, none of the other chains had streaming for Abstract. Like,
you think that OpenSea should launch a streaming platform?
I didn't say that.
Right. So you're saying they could, just like they could launch selling refrigerators. It doesn't even make sense. Like, the point of like comparing the farms is you're comparing a marketplace to a blockchain. And these are markedly different products. They don't make any sense to align the same type of things. Now, again, if your perspective is you want them to do less journeys, you don't want them to do voyages at all, and you want them to reward activity, that's fine. I'm just simply telling you, if you eliminate this rewards platform and they're rewarding current and past activity, you're just going to get a bunch of wash trading instead of people figuring out how to use their products and getting them driven to use their products. I think the honest feedback you're giving, which would make the most sense here, is they just need less frequent farms. They don't need to update it as often. I get the daily active users. Like, I get the idea of they're trying to bring people back daily, and I appreciate that. You don't. You want it to be less frequent. You want the farms to stay up more. I get it. But, like, comparing it to Abstract doesn't make sense because the products are completely different. It doesn't make any sense in how they're doing that versus that with OpenSea. But, again, if you're like, look, I just don't want them to do it as often, that's fine. I think the argument for it would be they want daily active users. They want frequent people going and frequenting their platform and using the products and creating the habit. And again, for you, it's not working. For others, it is. Again, there are different ways they can introduce it. Like, I think if I was unpacking your feedback, it would be more free activities probably make sense. More
activities. No, I don't want to be forced to do anything. I don't want to be forced to do something that is not a real transaction.
Nobody's forcing you to do anything. You don't have to do anything.
If I don't want to get diluted, I'm forced to go do a $5 swap today.
Right. So welcome to the choice. That's the choice of every farm that's ever existed in the history of crypto. Like, if I want Laudio, I have to tweet about Laudio. If I want something in the Kaito leaderboard, I have to talk about the Kaito leaderboard. If I don't want to be forced to tweet about Open Ledger, I don't end up getting the airdrop. It's like that simple. It's like very binary in that way. Like, I get it, but like, if the answer is like they want to drive more brand positive activity, like they could do more free farms, they could do more likes, more retweets, more things like that. I think you don't like this type of farm is fine and other people don't. But I think for that to say to them, like, they shouldn't be trying to highlight their products, get people to go to their product platform daily. I just don't disagree with that. And there are people who enjoy it. So I don't know. Like, it's like comparing OpenSea to a Pump Fun farm or comparing them to like a Pump Fun or an Abstract. It's such huge different products. And it doesn't make sense to do them the same way.
They're the same product. Never said
what? I know
you both a pre-TGE farm. One feels like a farm. One doesn't feel like a farm. That's it. I know they're different products. I know Marketplace is not a chain. I get all that. We have a difference of opinions. I don't enjoy it. It's turning me off. I don't know why that's such a hard.
I know. I said that's perfectly easy, but I was like, they're different products. They have streaming. You're like, OpenSea could introduce streaming.
They could, if they really want.
But you think they should?
No, I don't. I didn't say
that.
Then
why? But then why even introduce a completely fallacious point? You're like, well, they could introduce streaming. Like, okay, they could start launching dApps on their platform and become a blockchain.
I didn't think it made sense for Pump Fun to launch streaming. They did. They pulled it. They relaunched it again. It seems
makes a lot of sense for Pump Fun to launch streaming. Their entire market is driven by streamers. You don't think it makes sense for Pump Fun to launch streaming?
I didn't think it did when they launched it. It's fine now. It's working for them. I know. I'm not saying OpenSea should launch streaming. I'm saying, like, if streaming is driving daily eyeballs and they want daily eyeballs, maybe they should consider it. I don't know, man. I just, what I'm saying is it is a pre-TGE farm that feels very much like forced farming. That feels very 2021, 2022. It feels like a lot of other, you don't have to like InfoFi. You don't have to like talking about the stuff. I'm of the opinion, much more of the timeline would know you could do token swaps on OpenSea if they were rewarding people talking about doing token swaps on OpenSea instead of forcing them to do token swaps they don't want to do.
So let's now I think now we're getting somewhere like with the level of discussion, because what I'm trying to understand is like, because if you're just like get rid of the farm,
no, it's not working. Their farm is not working on me. It's turning me off. Right. Why can I feel like that? Why is that so hard to understand? Because I'm not the only one who's saying this, by the way.
It's perfectly easy to understand. What I'm saying is like, when you're like, this thing sucks, do something different. What do you want to do different? I don't know, maybe streaming. Why? It doesn't make sense for streaming. I don't know. Like, so what I'm saying is what your feedback is to them.
You said you brought up the streaming comparison. You brought up how different they were from.
Correct. I brought up the streaming comparison. That could get daily active users. Like, and I'm like, does that make sense? No. Well, then it doesn't make sense. You're basically making my point for me on that one, which is no, they shouldn't introduce streaming. They're different products. So comparing the farms is like you like one and not the other. My question is, based on their product, what would you do differently? You eliminate the Voyages program? Or what I was going to say is, to your point, maybe it's a more of a Kaito-like farm where they reward certain activities, talking about those activities and showing them and displaying them and trying to have a quality rewards. Like, that's a whole different ball game. So it's like swap, talk about it. There's some sort of like potential I don't know what that looks like, but like you saying it's not working, maybe it's doing a token swap and share. Like they did this, by the way, they did a thing where they said, do a cross-chain token swap and reply to this thing saying what you swapped. Like that was one of their farms. So like, maybe it's a different way to do it. But like, I think like, basically, you're presenting a problem and saying, I like these products that you cannot duplicate with OpenSea better. So what would you have them do differently is my question. Less frequent? Like, and you're like, no, I don't, it's not less frequent. I don't want to do it. Oh, like, what would you have them do differently? Especially if they want daily active users would be the question. Like, how would you do it differently if you were OpenSea and you were doing this program right now?
I don't know. I'd have to put a lot more thought to it. I'm not launching a forced farm program. And I think it's my point that I'm trying to get across is it's not having the desired effects on me and others in the space. That's it. I don't know the answer. If I knew the answer, I'd be a multi-billionaire running a multi-billion-dollar NFT platform. I don't know the answer. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's not landing. It's landing for some people, clearly. They also, to Payne's point, they said they're going to drop this token in December, January. It's now June, which the longer it goes on, I'm being forced to do something for the potential reward of a token someday. I'm near certain they're going to drop a token, but
they said they're going to drop a token. They said they're going to drop a token.
I have no idea when. And so it's like, it was supposed to be 6 months ago. It doesn't happen. So is this going to go on?
Did they say that? I don't think they said that. They teased C in December, but Payne, if you could find that, I don't think they said C was coming in January or December, but I could be wrong, but I don't recall. I recall them saying C is coming. I don't recall them saying it was coming January, December. So I don't think we can be like, unless we can get proof of that, I don't want to be like, hey, it was coming 6 months ago.
I kind of agree with that. I just don't think it's that deep. Like, I just don't like the farm. Like, I don't have a solution. There's the other farms that I enjoy far better because I'm not, it's not what they're doing. It's what I'm not being forced to do. Is that landing? Like,
no, I get, I
do farming activity. Like, it's how it's like, I think you're fucking with me sometimes. It's like, I don't like being forced to do farming activity. OpenSea is forcing us to do farming activity right now.
You don't know. I fully understand you don't like the farm. And you were kind of saying, this is dumb. It's not working. I'm like, well, I think it is working. And I understand. And I'm explaining why they're doing it. I'm saying, I like doing it. I understand why they're doing it. I think it could be tweaked. And my question is, you don't like it. How would you tweak it? Or is it just you're upset that your airdrop's getting diluted because you had historical activity and you don't want them to have the opportunity to have people like Diego to catch up? Like, that's fine. But my questioning is like, why, what, and how would you do it differently? I understand your point. I understand
your streaming.
What's that?
Gio says, yeah, with the explosion of whatnot and TikTok shop, it actually makes sense for OpenSea to get in streaming. Actually, now that we've talked through this, I do think it would probably make sense for them to get in streaming. They're selling stuff. Social shopping is a thing.
Completely illogical to take on the expense of the bandwidth to stream on a platform to try to be competitive to multiple other streaming platforms in crypto, like you would have to put an entire department and effort and money around it. Like it costs a lot to stream. A lot to stream. So I don't think that makes any sense. It's not the best opportunity. Why do you think a bunch of abstract streamers don't get approved? It's because of the cost to continue the streaming bandwidth. So I think I would say them getting into streaming makes zero sense. Like that is I will die on the hill that's a giant waste of a time side quest when they're pumping out partnerships, onboarding chains, token swaps, and they want to introduce a non-revenue generating product in order to drive people to like, that's not, it makes sense for abstract where there is a bunch of stuff to stream and talk about. So what are you going to do? Hey, I'm streaming on OpenSea tomorrow. Today, we're going to be talking about base NFTs. By day 7, you're out of stuff to stream about. Like they should not launch a streaming platform. That is a weird, it would not make sense.
It's like
for them
by day 7, they've ran out of things to farm. And so they're redoing the same things over and over again. That's I think the issue. It's just way too frequent, way too short time frame of stuff that is.
That's feedback. That's great. That's great feedback. Hey,
we want to farm, man. I don't want to do this sort of farm. Like, and it's okay if you want us to see your new products. I get it. I see them. Cool. Box check. Let's move on. What's next?
I think here's the feedback. This is what I would say would be the solution, even though I don't know if you're going to agree with it, but this is what I would go with. I would say if they had one task every day. So that's one task, not like, hey, they pop in, they pop out. There's a bunch. When do they come? If they had one task every day and shipments, it would probably be a little bit easier. It would get you as a daily active user. You would do some token swaps. You wouldn't mind buying your NFT that given day. You would get involved and you'd be okay. Like, I think it's probably, they need to lower it to 1 to 2 tasks every day max. Because even if they have the same exact tasks on a daily basis, if it's 1 to 2, it's probably a little bit easier to do. So I'd say 1 to 2 tasks and more, probably more free tasks. And maybe they have 1 free and 1 paid task every day. They do the shipments. Like that would probably be a more easy farm. And that's probably the feedback to give. Like, it's like, I think people are having FOMO. They're getting overwhelmed by the amount of things. It's too much. And you feel like it's getting repetitive and it's turning you off. And it's like, oh, I got to go do this again. And I think a lot of people are saying similar things. I think just, to me, it's like the frequency probably would reduce the feeling about it if it were like 1 to 2 every day. But, you know, they're figuring it out. They just launched this thing. And by the way, I'm just going to keep doing it because I like the head start I'm getting. And, you know, maybe that will be not play out in fruition. I just think it's a no-brainer.
Steve, shouldn't they have done, just to play the outside of like they just launched this thing, shouldn't they have done market research on like what people want before launching? Or maybe they did, and this is what the market research said.
Market research is worth.
I don't think it's fair to say like, oh, they just launched it, so they're figuring it out. Like,
no, I think that is fair to say. We're in an experimental space, and they just launched something, and they can do all their work. They've seen what other rewards programs are successful, and other ones that did similar things that force you to do this sort of activity have worked in the past. But I also think market research is pretty worthless in crypto because people don't tell you what they want. People tell you they want real content and they don't want pump fun stuff, but they only want stuff that's going to make you money. People tell you that they don't want to, that they want utility from NFTs, but once NFTs introduce utility, they tank. I don't think market research is worthwhile to do. I think you can do it in an individual basis if you talk to holders of an NFT project, but I think for OpenSea, that market research would be relatively worthless. And by the way, they do have people they talk to on things like sort of like, you know, they do talk to individuals about these sort of things that have sort of advisory groups that tell them about it, who are in the space and active. So I think that they, you know, if they got bad advice, they got bad advice. But again, I understand it, but if it's the frequency, that's what I'm trying to unpack. I'm not trying to say like anybody's opinion's invalid. What I'm trying to say is, unless you think OpenSea should be streaming, I do think that opinion's invalid. But like I'm trying to say that I think that I'm trying to get to feedback of what makes people want it or what make it different that will make people less turned off by it who are turned off by it. Depressive Hacks, curious which side of the fence you're on here. Get in here, GM.
GM, I actually am thinking that this should lead to a broader conversation around what expectations from companies should be for rewarding people versus driving metrics that they need to raise more money and show investors progress, etc. Because I do agree with what Cap says that like a lot of this is not sustainable. Like once you complete your TGE, people aren't going to do this shit. right? And like also, it was one thing whenever people were doing this, like, you know, a couple of years ago, and there wasn't so many of these at once, but like, look at all the things that are going on right now that want your time and want your clicks. Like, we all only have so much time in a day in order to get things done, right? So like, what is the proper expectation of, like, you know, my time as a user that I should be like expecting someone to be like, okay, this is a reasonable thing for me to do in order to get this reward, versus like, okay, I'm going to go do all this stuff and it's going to take me a good portion of my day, but hopefully the reward is worthwhile. And I think a big part of the issue here is that you don't really know what you're going to get on the back end, right? So like, you basically have the law of diminishing returns, where like you can spend all this time and effort to try to do it, but then depending on how the structure of the TGE goes, like, you don't know if you're spending your time optimally or not as a user anymore. And you have so many places to spend that time that, like, in my opinion, it makes it really difficult to know, like, what is the correct expectation from projects for the people in the space for this kind of stuff. So just kind of want to get your thoughts on that.
I mean, it's like, but I guess it's like, spend time on the things you want to spend time on. Like, I don't think, and like, look, I understand the perspective. People are like, this turns me off from OpenSea because I don't like this rewards program and I feel like it's hurting my own airdrop. And I get that. I guess like my question is like, you know, like, I don't think like, but I think like, yeah, there's more attention to compete for. That probably moves towards the reasoning that they should be, that moves towards the reasoning that they should be doing this as frequently as they are, because they are forcing people like myself to go back and do it and actually take the daily task and create the habit. I disagree with you on a couple things, though. I don't think like they're going to juice numbers for investors, and investors are going to be like, yes, those numbers are going to persist once your airdrop happens. Like, they know that, right? They know that's not going to happen. The point of it is, just like any other action, it's like any rewards program you take, you get a push notification in your phone that says, hey, do this and get rewarded today. And you do it to get rewarded because you see the opportunity in the future to get to get that thing. And then they want you to redo that product. If I go buy a, you know, like 90% of Starbucks stuff they asked me to do is not going to result in me future purchasing that item again. Maybe occasionally it'll get my up check going up, but my check goes up when they got me to try the, you know, shaken oat milk espresso. Now, look, I didn't want it the pumpkin spice latte, the seasonal food items. None of those really do anything for me. I did them for the farm, right? Or for the, you know, program, because I like getting rewards. It's not even like a farm. But your point about like what's the point of it? It's like, I will continue to do token swaps on OpenSea, especially if the C drop isn't the end of C and I know there's additional rewards going on with it. I never, before this time frame, ever used OpenSea to swap tokens. I have only used OpenSea to swap tokens outside of a few exceptions in the past couple of months. So to me, that would be real activity that's actually working, because I'm like, well, it's a double farm. I get my airdrop points, I get my rewards points, and I work towards it. So I think it's like hard to say, but that's what I'm trying to unpack though, DH, which is like, the question I'm asking is less so like, I understand Cap doesn't like it. I understand others don't. I do. My question is, what would change it to make people feel better about it? It sounds like people want less activities and they feel exhausted by it. Okay. You feel like it's a job. You don't like it. You feel like you're missing stuff. You feel like it's, you know, not your thing you want to do. You feel like it's a waste of time. You feel like it's annoying to go through the process. It's getting me to use the system and understand how to properly search on OpenSea and certain things, because they've made some changes on there that have made it like actually a little bit more efficient when you're searching. So anyway, I just think like my big question I was asking is, what will people change? Sounds like people just want less activities, potentially more free activities. I think both those are valid pieces of feedback, and I think they would be open to both those pieces of feedback. I think it's simple as that.
Rewarded for going and reading the great articles they're putting out. Like, there's so
Great
many other things they could be doing other than forcing us to do 18 $5 swaps.
Yeah, they did that. They did something to that effect, where like you could click through to the article and then
I would love if I clicked on the rewards today and it's like, oh, go read this article about Spoiled Banana Society and Boris and Richard, and we'll give you 25 XP for that. I'd much rather do that than another $5 swap on base. Like what like,
well, one of the
every single article, give us like engage to earn. Like, there's a million things they could be doing other than the same. It's the redundancy. It's the same thing, changing the chain or the token. Like, it's very, very repetitive. It's already tiring and exhaustive. And it feels, I believe it's like the top of the first inning of this thing.
So I didn't unlock as you're saying that. I actually think, Cap, a better way to do this, actually, and I'm curious, you probably will disagree with this on the surface, but think about it. Give it a second. Don't just react viscerally right off the bat. Is instead of being like, swap a token here, swap a token here, I wonder if it was like you had like a daily streak or something like that, where it's like, okay, I just used the platform. I went to an article.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? And then you're getting XP based on your check-in to do that versus like this reward system is, I like the claim reward. You do it, you get the XP, you get a number. But it feels like they had like 4 or 5 actions they wanted you to take. And it was very clear. And it wasn't, it popped and went away.
Floor Slime says, I see Caps White. What if they led you to Frankie's game on an abstract chain from a voyage that originally you had to bridge some ETH to abstract? Like there's so much stuff they could be doing. I think it not only is the farm annoying for me, it seems like a low effort farm because it's been the same stuff over and over again. And there is other things they could be doing. Streaming's a bad example. It just came off the top of my head. I'm not saying OpenSea should stream. Although it looks pretty good on Zane's mock.
Zane did a good job. Look at us. Look at us.
There is a lot of other stuff they could do that's not forcing the same old, oh, go do this farm so I see a transaction on chain. That's what it feels like. Do something different. Or stop making it every day. Like, yeah, drive a daily task. Do a task every day, not the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, or like, Jambert says, like, reading articles than answering questions for the XP would be great.
Perfect.
Like,
I'd rather take a fucking quiz on an article I read than go do a $5 token swap again.
I think most people wouldn't like that, but I get the point. But like, I don't know, like, I think, so feedback for them is they need to be
Don't do the quiz. That's a really bad idea. That was a hyperbole. Don't do a fucking quiz. But
otherwise people just like click the article and then hit yes, right? It's like you click the article, you roll. It's like when it's like go like and retweet this thing, and you like get your points, then you unretweet it. It's like, again, like people might prefer that, but that's not as positive and doesn't do as much for them. I think you're asking for more creativity in the quests. You're asking for less frequent quests. You're asking for more free quests. You're asking for more opportunities to gain. Like, that's fine.
It's the info fight era. Lean into that. You don't have to go pay Kaito $100,000. Speaking of Spo Bonanza, they're doing one manually where they're rewarding people. Like, there's ways they can reward people for talking about, oh my God, I just did an OpenSea swap on OpenSea. Like, there's a lot of stuff they can do there. It just feels very the same old stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. It feels very low effort for a farm. And for a multi-billion-dollar corporation, I think they could do better.
Yeah, Meshmesh says Myriad Markets tracks your scrolling activity on the page, how long you take to read an article. Honestly, like Myriad, I can't get their like completion on certain quests to do. Like, so it's clunky. I couldn't figure it out. I gave up on some of the Myriad stuff outside of the daily check-in and using the platform. Yeah, like, okay, more creativity, less frequency or less feeling like it's redundant, more potential free tasks. I think all fair feedback. And that's all I was trying to get to the bottom of is like, what is the end state here that makes it ideal? And I think maybe that's what it is. Like, again, like, but I will continue to take my head start and my reward, and we will see where it goes. But good spirited conversation about the OpenSea drop. Did not have that on my bingo card this morning that we're going to talk about the rewards program. I was just simply trying to say, people, get on there and do your farming if you're on it, because even if you don't like it, if it's going to matter, it's going to be 1 of 3 items. Let's do this. So we got a couple other things in the news. We have Coinbase launching a 4%, potentially up to 4% Bitcoin cashback credit card. Did you put yourself on the wait list?
I missed it. I would like one, but really just because it's kind of a cool card. Like, I get 2% plus today, so because it starts at 2%, it's not really 4%. I don't know what the tier is, but you gotta have a bunch of collateral on Coinbase. I don't know what it is to qualify for the 4%, but I did not go for the wait list. I wasn't aware that was a thing, but I think card's cool.
If you go to Coinbase, if you have Coinbase One, you can put yourself on the wait list still.
Yeah.
It was funny. Crypto, good old our guy Garga had a feedback where he's like, "Hey, I just wish it wasn't so blockchain branded because it is the Genesis block on it." He's like, because then everybody knows you have crypto. And at first I was like, that's a good point. And then I was like, wait a minute, I use my credit card in person like never. Like, I basically like. I use my credit card in person, like occasionally at like a grocery store or something. Maybe when I'm out like to dinner, I suppose would be the other time. But like I do 90% of my shopping online. So like I put in for it and was like, I'll just use it as my online credit card. So I saw that Gargoth
I saw
thing.
a really funny post. I'm gonna see if I can find it. It was really funny. I should have. I don't even know if I liked it because it was mildly inappropriate. But if I can find it, I'll pull it up.
Somebody had replied to Gargoth's like, so I'm guessing you don't have this one. It's the MetaMask card with just the fox's face on it. I think like with credit cards, you use them so infrequently in person, you could just not use it that way. I do think other options might make sense though with the Coinbase card, but it's hard. So I thought that one was interesting. Shopify is introducing USDC and working through Base. Did you see this?
Yep. And we got the Amazon and Walmart announcement as well.
Here's why I actually find this. I'm going to pull this up. Here's why I find this interesting, the Shopify thing. Because as interesting as Shopify is that they are introducing USDC, which I think is logical in how they do it, the way that they're messaging this and talking about it, one, they're not shying away from it being crypto, which is interesting. But two, why stablecoins matter for entrepreneurs. They talk about stability without compromise. They talk about fast borderless transactions, effortless checkouts, and they're giving logical reasons. Shopify is making the logical argument for crypto as a payment method. And they even say, like, unlike cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ether, whose value can fluctuate, stablecoin are backed by USDC 1-to-1, US dollar reserves. They're making the logical argument for crypto and stablecoins that we would have been laughed out of a party for making amongst people years ago. Now, large companies are like, hey, this makes sense. This is what we've been saying for years. So I think like the significance of this isn't just the fact that Shopify is introducing USDC and working with Base on this. I think the significance is they're making the argument for crypto in full force in a very logical way, as if it's obvious, which it is. But this is the type of stuff you would have gotten called crazy for. So I just thought the way they're going about it is very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to the CEO who comes out and says, crypto's been around for 15 years and hasn't found product market fit yet. They look like idiots. And it's just further driving that home. Like you got to get on board or you're going to get left behind pretty quickly.
Yeah. It's just, it's crazy seeing like them use terms like a borderless, seamless future payments. Sorry. It's crazy seeing them say things like a borderless, seamless future for payments. By embracing stablecoins, merchants aren't just adopting a new payment method. They're tapping into global markets, opening the door for global customers, and joining the future of borderless, accessible commerce. Like, these are Shopify's words. And so that part of it is like so interesting to me because this is just showing to me, it sort of demonstrates the shift in mindset around crypto as it exists around the world, particularly in the States.
Just lost my train of thought here. I was going to shift gears. I did pull it up. I'm going to go back because I have to share it. I said I would, and I think I might have already lost it again. Nope, I got it. It made me laugh, so I'm going to share it. You want to read it for those listeners?
I can't. Yeah, zoom it in. You read it because I feel like I'm being set up. You said it was mildly inappropriate.
Billy Walsh says, yeah, so I was at a really nice loft party in Manhattan and pulled up my Coinbase premium Amex card with 4% BTC back to cut up some lines. Then the next thing you know, I'm in the basement for 4 days, tied to a wheelchair, getting my balls electrocuted.
Yeah, this is the Garga concern, right? This is the Garga concern. It is the Garga concern of this. I just think if I have a Coinbase card, and I know this is silly because like I have a Delta Sky Miles that's made out of metal, so like I'm probably like showing a little bit of a reserve flex there, but that's just because I travel a lot and it's worth it. I do think like I would not use my Coinbase card in public except for at like self checkouts. I would probably, and even then I'd be careful. Like I probably would only use it on online payments, but that's enough. I mean, people are doing most of their stuff online, right? So I think that's where you would end up using it. So
maybe I should worry about it. I use Coinbase card often. I don't ever worry about it.
Yeah, I
only thing bad's ever happened to me is some people like, oh, you're one of those crypto guys. Like I got a like hairy eyeball one time when someone realized I was paying with a Coinbase card.
And then you're like, read the Shopify press release, motherfucker. Get on the train. Rekt Drinks. Ovi had to cancel this morning. I have a little bit going on, so we're gonna get Ovi on. We're gonna find another day to get him on here. Rekt Drinks and Jupiter. So Rekt.
I heard Ovi had a big meeting with OpenSea regarding. I'm kidding. It's a bad joke. Didn't even land it.
I got points. I got my points for my shipment, and my shipment of Rekt Drinks is out. Rekt coming to Solana. Jupiter stakers will be eligible for pre-order for the limited edition series that they're having, and noteworthy, Jupiter, Meteora, Rekt partnering, and they are bringing Rekt onto Sol. So they will have Rekt on Sol. It is currently a Ethereum-based token, so they're bringing Rekt on Sol. So I think, two things there. I mean, I think where, again, like we have the drink collabs continue. They continue the wave marketing, as I've been told it's called, with Rekt Drinks now going. They had OpenSea, they had Abstract. Now they're doing a Jupiter drop. They're doing literally calling it Jupiter drops, I believe. And the coin is going to Solana. Any thoughts on either of those points?
Just they keep stacking wins. The 2,200 supply seemed really small. I don't know what the thought is into that. Like, even just from a manufacturing standpoint, it seems like it would be a very low MOQ to even produce that.
What do you think the
is 2,200 cans or 2,200 cases?
Probably cases. Is that still low? I don't know how that works.
Seems low, right? I mean,
I don't know.
I guess I would need to see numbers what they've sold in these last few drops, but it seems like a much smaller drop, and I just wonder, like, logistics, how they're even pulling that off.
Let me see if I can find those numbers, because I know I tweeted about it. So if you
because they're over 600,000 units, which there's 12 or 24 in a case.
I think I actually don't know the answer to that, even though I have 2 cases coming. I should know that.
I'll find out.
Yeah, why don't you check behind you real quick? It looks like 24. It looks like 24. I'm gonna do
so that'd be like 25,000 cases they've sold so far. So I guess maybe 2,200 is not that makes sense, I guess.
What I'm kind of curious about with this sort of thing is, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find my search is the way these things are selling out. Man, my X search is not. Oh, it's minimum replies. That's why it's not working. I'm hitting the wrong thing. I'm trying to do an X advanced search here while I'm talking to find my tweet about this, because okay, so here it is. All right, so because I want to talk through this about units. You're more of a retail guy than me, so you have a better answer. So it says, zooming doesn't even work on this. 200,000 drinks. So what is that? We got to do the math on this. 200,000 drinks, basically 200,000 drinks in 47 hours, another 225,000 drinks sold in about 40 minutes, 180,000 drinks sold in 17 minutes. So how many units did you say this was? If it's 24 packs times 2,200 units, so it's 24.
50,000, 52,000.
Yeah, so that is low, right? Because you're talking about the OpenSea drop was 180,000, so it's a third.
But 50,000, that makes sense. I would imagine you could get 50,000 cans run. That's probably not too small of a run. So,
but it's more less about the run. My point, I guess, my question is, I want to buy this and I will not be able to. I don't have stake cheap.
Yep. Are they doing the same thing as last time, where you get an NFT that you can burn or claim, or what is it straight to buy?
I don't know, actually. I don't think they announced the details yet. My point is, get out of here. Reach up to 100K more users on my thing. I'm trying to show a post, for Christ's sake. All right, it's gone. Whatever. My point being, if you can sell 180,000 cans in 17 minutes, why would you not want to sell 300,000 cans? And I get it creates a good narrative. It's debate. It's whatever.
My guess is it's a lot of repeat buyers, and they're probably done some math where they want to make sure they sell out quickly, right? And since they just had a drop not too long ago, like, maybe the buyer who pushed in, I don't know, $500 worth of drinks last time is not, might come back for 100 this time, but their garage is already getting full of pallets of Rekt Drinks, would be my guess.
Yeah. Ooh, just got a quote tweet from Gargama GM. So just I didn't think about this. So I tweeted this morning just as a sorry for the hard pivot, but I just got this notification. So I put GM 7 hours into the vote in the ApeCoin to sunset the ApeCoin DAO. 3.2 million ape have already voted for in 90% support. It's now near certainty. The next chapter of the ecosystem will be a carefully managed model that's hyper focused on ape chain, ApeCoin, BAYC, and other side. Got a jump back from Garga. Apparently, I spoke too soon, so he's trying to correct me before it gets out there too much. He goes, the AIP will need a ton of votes to pass. Believe it requires 3.5% of all circulating tokens to participate in the vote and needs a 66% supermajority in favor. So folks should get out there and vote. We'll need way more participation before the 2-week period is up, which is interesting because, like, maybe I misunderstood it. It said quorum was at 300% when I checked it on the site. So I guess I'm wrong. I don't know. I'll respond to Garga and ask his opinion on it. But anyway, you can continue to talk Rekt, or we can pivot to that one. I know Von Frontin came up here as well.
Go ahead and get in here. GM Von Frontin. Are you still in the air?
No, sitting in traffic. So GM coming to you live from the new OpenSea's streaming. Can we just say how tired I am about having to buy delicious drinks to farm these drink points? I mean, geez, come on. Kidding on everything. So, no, one thing, Steve, on the Jupiter, if you do hold Rekt token, they did say Rekt token holders are going to be eligible for the drop in addition to Jupiter stakers. So
how much? What's the threshold?
No more details. I think the details coming Monday. I think I saw Jupiter tweet that. So stay tuned on Monday. Noti's on. I'm guessing I think to your point, it's either, repeat buyers. Maybe they just had some extra capacity and they threw out, like, hey, we can pivot, 52,000 cans to a new flavor to promote this marketing wave. Who knows? I'm a huge fan. I was bummed Ovi couldn't make it, but I'm a huge fan of how they're marketing, B, how they're incorporating Web3, into this in a really, really meaningful way. So I'm excited about it. I'm going to be in line. I'm going to try to grab a case. My OpenSea case is also out for delivery right now. So I'm just really excited about it. So
do you think they should have released more? Like, I guess like 2,000. Again, I don't know what the total OpenSea number is, and I don't want to do the math because I'm not in the mood to do the mental math this morning. But do you think they should have released more than these 2,000 some odd cases? Because again, I want to get them. I'm curious, Von Frontin, are you like, man, I wish this was double this number or triple this number so I knew I was going to be able to get in on that?
If I don't get a case, I'm going to wish it was a bigger number, of course. But I think we don't know the rationale, right? If it was a supply-driven rationale where it was like, hey, guys, like, we can squeeze out another 52,000 cans. What do you want to do with them? Then maybe it was like a, promotion of convenience, and it just happened to work out that they can pivot really quickly and bottle them up for Jupiter. Or it was, hey, we've got a lot of waves coming up. We can't do these giant waves, right? Like, Abstract was huge and promoted on Abstract because you could farm Abstract points for it, right? OpenSea, you could farm Abstract and OpenSea points for that can with major distribution with major partners, right? Jupiter, I don't know if you can farm anything with Jupiter through this. We'll see, but they're post TGE, so maybe it didn't make sense to go as big on this one as it did on the other ones, where you were going to get a bunch of people buying 50, 100 cases at a time. Maybe because they like to drink, but more because they like the XP that's going to hopefully get them, more free money sometime down the line.
Good call. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that
Abstract XP, I'm sure played into it. I'm assuming the OpenSea did as well. So yeah, good call there.
Your mic just got a little crackly. I don't know if you want to check the plug on it.
Do they just keep doing this? Different collaborations? What do you think is next? I know we're probably front running a upcoming interview here with Ovi, but where do you think they go from here?
Can you
probably got one or two. I mean, so now they are. And again, I know absolutely nothing. This is all speculation. I'm just trying to read tea leaves here, but it does look like they are trying to be very, very thoughtful of using these partnerships to expose their brand to different communities, right? They went really big and exposed their brand to Abstract. They went really big and exposed their brand to the OpenSea maxis, so those exist. They're starting to go big and expose their brand to Solana. Most people do this only by launching a token, right? Dude introduce Doodles to Solana by, with their token, and we'll see. And now building DreamNet on Solana, right? Like, it seems to be coming from the playbook of let me get my brand out there to different communities. I think there's probably so many in the chamber you can do with this before it's like, all right, like, do we need the Phantom drink and the MetaMask drink and the Van Eck drink? Like, at some point, like, you got to stop and pivot and do something else, which I'm sure they will.
One sec here. Steve, I'm going to hand it to you. We're getting some audio issues. I'm going to do the unplug plug-in, see if that fixes it. But I'll just say I agree. I think, like, my thought is they're going to use this model to hit their 1 million units in year one, and then we'll see, like, the next chapter. But Steve, I'll be right back.
Yeah, sorry, I missed what Von Front was saying because I was trying to get the audio because I thought it was a me issue because when I went to the space, Von Front, you sounded okay. When I didn't, it wasn't, but it must be on the board. So hopefully we can get everything fixed in there or at least play around with it. It suddenly got really crackly out of nowhere.
Check.
Much better. Are you good?
All right, y'all. Appreciate the heads up. Thanks.
Can Von Front give me a and I think for everybody else, can you give us a quick TLDR on the point you were making? Only because I feel bad. It was crackling so hard. I feel like a lot of people couldn't hear it.
Oh, crap. Sorry. Can you guys hear me now?
You're good now. Yeah.
All right. Sorry. No, I think the TLDR was, I think I agree with Cap. I think this is their path to 1 million, right? If they have investors that were looking for 1 million and this is a KPI, it's a great way to get to 1 million in 1 year. So there's maybe, a handful of rounds left on this one to expose themselves to different communities. And then they'll pivot and they'll figure out what the next thing is, right? Ovi, if I forget what it was called now, but they did a building in public type series, which I'm a huge fanboy of those. He talked about getting the Rekt brand on things besides drinks. How do you expand the ecosystem beyond just drinks with the branding? That's where I'm assuming that they're going to start to go to and expand a little bit outside of the carbonated flavored water business.
Yeah, I think that is interesting. Like, how do you sort of hit that expansion? And the other thing, like you hit on earlier, by the way, that I wanted to double tap on before I got crackly Von Fronten, is I actually thought you hit on a point where you're like, look, they're having people take brand positive ecosystem actions. It's almost very like in a different way. I'm not trying to make the OpenSea analogy or go back. I'm not trying to put my hand back in the in the hornet's nest here. But I will say that it's like you're like the way that OpenSea can get people to use their chain in different people's chains by doing things, the way that Abstract can use like the sort of get people to use their dApps using the spotlight and using quests. I think I think Rekt using those brand positive actions on things to say like, hey, you get Abstract EXP or you get OpenSea XP or you get Jupiter is going to do something for you or those sorts of things. I will say the one beef I have, Cap, and maybe you know this better as a retail guy, I want to buy liquidated lime. RIP me, I didn't get Abstract Apple. I'm debating if I should bug the Rekt team about that today or another day because I never got my Abstract Apple as a streamer, which is like such an entitled win.
Wouldn't it be funny if it's somehow my fault that happened?
It would be, honestly.
Like I was involved in that conversation. Like I got the DM. They sent me a shit. I said, can you make sure Steve gets some? They said, yeah. I'm near certain they said they would reach out to you and but wouldn't it be something if I have a DM, they're asking me for your address and it's just sitting there and
I provided it via Telegram. Okay. I was just late.
Okay.
It's on me because I was late to getting it to them. And I was like, hey, hopefully not too late when the cases are starting coming in. So it's probably on me, but they're like, hey, we'll get this to you. I'm not upset at them. They have a lot going on. I am a small potato, not important person in that sense.
Wild though that you're wanting to collect drinks. I'm guessing this is a new
I'm in the absolute same bucket. I want Abstract. I want the entire collection. I want to put it on a shelf next to my, vinyls because I have a problem. And Steve, I think you're going to get your Abstract Apple around the same time Cap ever sends that Ape Chain hat to me.
I'm looking at the Ape Chain hat. Is the Ape Chain hat in the room with us right now? It is. But here's the thing, like, I like the drinks. As somebody who is, trying to drink less, like I don't have like I'm an alcoholic drink every day thing, but like drinking less is objectively better for you as a health thing. I know, Cap, you haven't drank in like years and years and years. I have like Kill Cliffs, if people know what those are. I have Fit Aids. I have canned ape water. I like canned water. to have, because for me, it's like I'm ADHD. It's almost ritualistic. It's like a fidget for me to have. Houseplant, I don't know if you're familiar with their South Rogan's THC drinks. Like there's a lot of things that are out there that you could do. I would like to have Rekt Drinks as one of those options. I would work them in because I want to support the brand. I like what they're building. And the liquidated lime was good. Like we had liquidated lime in Paris. It was tasty, but they're all sold out and you can't buy them anywhere. And so I wish there was a way, like I wish they would like, whether it was like upsells through NFTs or something. Like I wish, and I know that would be constant production.
I have a serious question. Has there ever been another time where you had this sort of FOMO for a beverage? Like I know, like, oh, maybe I didn't get the new PlayStation that keeps selling out. I can't get it. Like, has there ever been another drink, another beverage, non-alcoholic? I know, like, you got to get into Lotto's to get a Pappy Van Winkle if you're a Scotch drinker. Has there ever been another non-alcoholic beverage you've ever experienced demand being greater than supply?
I don't think so, man. Like I'm trying to think, like, has there ever been a beverage? I mean, well, and also like maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's part of it. The scarcity makes
that's what I'm going. Like they're like the scarcity is beyond just collecting NFTs. Like they're bringing that element. And this is hitting me kind of in real time here. They're bringing that element into CPG goods.
Well, this is funny because
it's not like, oh, this is a Supreme hoodie that there's only 1,000 of them, so I'm gonna flex. Like you can't even flex this unless it's like in your backdrop. Like, no, there's not enough people talking about this. I think this is a pretty big deal, and I think it actually continues. I think the way he's going at it, I don't know how they go past this. Like, fast forward a year, and they ran through all the Web3 collaborations. Then what? I don't know, but I think it's in the range of outcomes. A year from now, you're still trying to get your hands on a case of liquidated lime. That's crazy. I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm saying it's phenomenal how they've built this demand and desire for a freaking sparkling water.
I am crazy. We all have a mental illness in this space. But it's funny watching our chat show that we're all boomers here. We got Floor's Lime saying, or Floor Slime. That's it. I said Floor's Lime. It is Floor Slime. I'm 100% positive. I said Floor's Lime. I said Floor's Lime. Floor Slime. I got it this time, Floor Slime. I got you. It said, they say Surge when it first came out. Great. That means that Floor Slime is right in our age bracket. Early Cherry Coke vibes, says Diablito. Baja Blast back in the day. I was going to say Baja Blast, but Baja Blast it scaled quickly. It was in Taco Bell's in a hurry. So I think to your point, though, this is actually the marketing strategy. It's funny that I'm getting FOMO about this and sad because this is the exact marketing strategy I suggested to scale to the masses. You have a rabid fan base in people who are very interested in this product. You could go in smaller batches to physical stores and say to them, we will sell out in your stores, but we only sell in certain batches. And people will rush to the stores, similar to what we saw when the first waves of Pudgy toys were dropping, and people would just go and just absolutely empty pallets of those things. I think we could see that with Rekt Drinks, and I think it's smart. I'm sad just because I wanted, but to your point, I think it's working as a marketing strategy. So big time excitement there. Von Frontin, I saw your hand was up. I don't know if it's still up because Spaces is funky, but jump in here if you want to. And if not, I'll count to 10.
Oh, no, I took it down. I think Cap's point was similar to what I was going to make around creating FOMO around carbonated water is truly something to being acknowledged in this space right now.
Yeah, no, I think, I think the way Rekt is doing marketing is very interesting.
I'm genuinely excited to get him on the phone. It's like, I think the having to reschedule is just making this one of the most anticipated interviews we've ever done. Because like I truly my authentic self, I have like real like business questions I would ask, and like I would enjoy the conversation over a coffee, not even on the air. Like beyond what they have today, like I think they're setting themselves up to jump into the functional beverage line, whether it's cannabis or mushrooms or it's just this alternate beverage industry,
like Aptogen,
booming. Like the entire industry is booming, but there's no recognizable trusted brands in it yet, Steve. It's all like your mom and pops. Like you might see something in Whole Foods, but then you go to Publix and it's a different brand. Like no one is like Like you think of like the water space, Liquid Death, they crushed it. Like there's all these examples in beverages of companies that have just skyrocketed up only and either sold or raised at billion-dollar valuations. Just no one's done it yet in the functional beverage space. And maybe it's because there are different state
regulations, rules. Yeah.
Part of it. But I like, maybe they don't need to do that. Maybe they just do it in the straight, regular sparkling beverage industry. I just think that I'm very bullish on that sector. It is exploding, and it gets me really excited when I see an industry going like this and there's no market leader. Like it's not going to last. Like someone is going to capture material market share in the functional beverage space sooner than later. And I know, like you even mentioned a few of them off the top of your head, like the Fit Brewing and like some of the more of like the non-alcoholic lines. But I'm saying more so in like the actual adaptogenic mushrooms and cannabis, like those verticals are prime for someone to come in and own it. And man, wouldn't it be cool if we actually get a crypto native company that does it?
The tricky part though, like I'm going to be the womp womp here. I think the tricky part that we run into is that I think the tricky part that we run into with it is that because of how they're sold, I actually was thinking about them doing a cannabis beverage earlier as we were talking about this. And the reason I didn't bring it up out loud is because I think maybe like the aptogen ones is one thing, but like because they're bought and sold via NFTs, which doesn't require a KYC or anything like that, obviously you need to get them shipped to your house. There is the potential that like 14-year-olds go on and buy THC beverages and things like that, right? Like, whereas like this is safe. I don't know what the rules are around things like aptogen or CBD drinks, right? There's probably some lesser rules around that, but still rules. I know CBD has a ton around it. We were working on some CBD stuff at Nestle when I was there, and it was just a mess. But I think that might be the roadblock.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and even things like kava and kratom, that's not as far down that line as like cannabis. Even that is different laws state by state. Like
kratom was like killing people. I saw at one point. I haven't had kratom since I read about that. Like since I read about like what it was doing to like Midwestern housewives who had gotten some kava stuff. Oh yeah, there's some, or not kava, kratom. There was like, because we would rock the kratom in the morning after like a long night out in NFT NYC. We discovered it. Some stories started coming out in kratom. I don't remember what they were. Who knows if they were over exaggerated enough? But I'm like, I don't need this in my life, and I'm like, I'm never touching that again. Be careful with the kratom cap. I don't even have a soundboard. I can't host this show myself. I need you.
Protein bars like barbells, Quest bars would be welcome product. Like we're seeing like basically we're seeing that happen in other, I guess, sectors to where I just functional is the word that keeps coming to mind. Like healthy drinks. We're seeing it in bars. The protein bar world is you see many brands popping up in that and taking off. We just haven't seen it in the drink yet. And yes, I'm sure there's a wide range of all these, from psychedelics to
protein bars.
Yeah, right. I just think that someone's going to crack that nut where it's probably the aptogenic mushrooms, because it's not, you have less regulation there, but someone's going to nail and I still think we're going to see it at retail. I think you're going to see a boom of these lounges, clubs, and where maybe it's both, but just a broader selection of beverages that make you feel something that's not drunk.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like, or just like to your point, like when I think about Rekt, it's just like, even just thinking about the health opportunity though, like again, sparkling water is a good, have this, walk around with this. Like I'm going to have this like outside over the summer with my friends. They're going to be like, ooh, what's that? And I'm going to say, oh, it's just a, flavored water drink. But it's like, because again, I think to your point about the not drunk part, it's not just drunk. It's the way alcohol makes you feel. It's what it does to your body. It's how it ages you, what it does to the insides of you. And it's like every drink, like I'm looking, I have a mini fridge in my basement where I am. Like I got a mini fridge down here, and it's completely stocked with, again, Kill Cliffs, Fit Aids, some house plants, there's some ape water in there. It's all non-alcoholic beverages. And when I'm down here working, or whether it's during the day, like, or at night, if I'm like hanging out with Dawn and we just want to hang out or whatever, and it's like just a weeknight, I just take a can and it's in my hand and I'm drinking it. It's like that market of that, as well as like the food side of it, to your point, like the protein bars, etc. It's very real. And like they have the opportunity to enter that market in a way that I think, they've already established they're doing almost a non-degen product in a degen way, right? Like the least degenerate product you could have is sparkling water. It is, I would say sparkling water, I would have to guess, I could be wrong, is one of the top things that people go to as a replacement for alcohol. It fits the ritual. It gives you something to do. It's got some flavor to it. It tastes like a seltzer, like a truly seltzer type thing, but it's not. It's probably the top thing. So, like, they've established that market. Like, your point, like, the idea of, like, bars and things. Like, Adam Wright had done some really good protein bars at one point, or some really good, like, healthy bars that he had done that I actually quite enjoyed. A salted caramel one, some other ones. I don't see why OSF and team couldn't do something like that if they so decided to. And I would be super open to it. And again, I like supporting these brands, so I don't know, all the way in. So any
I got a few quick ones.
Yeah, I was gonna say, anything else?
FIFA Rivals launch. Did you try it out yet?
I have not.
Pretty slick. I'm
not Polkadot, right?
No, it's on Mythos. Play Mythical. I play Mythical games. I think it's
I was almost positive if FIFA Rivals was on Polkadot, so I'll double check.
I thought I saw Mythos chain. Anyways, more importantly, it launched in iOS, and you collect, you own your players, you upgrade your players. Looks and feels like your average Web 2 iOS game. So well done there. Excited to see what sort of numbers and it's just a blockchain game launched in Apple iOS. Pretty big deal, I think.
Polkadot.
So I wonder is
sidechain on Polkadot or a
I wonder is this like an L2 of Polkadot or something?
Yeah, I need to get more versed on Polkadot, but yeah, I was almost positive it was Polkadot because it was a big deal. So Mythos is Polkadot according to Diablito.
Okay, good to know. So yeah, the FIFA Rivals launched. I played like a game. I downloaded it, and I'm just not a big mobile gamer, so probably doesn't stick in my life. But I wanted to check it out and was impressed with the execution of the launch. Fartcoin finally listed on Coinbase. Congratulations to all the ones who've been stacking the coin that only rises. And 2 in a row, Steve. One more, and we call it a winning streak. Cap's clutch market parlay of the day hit again last night. I got to pick a winner. If you want to help me pick a winner, I pinned it up top. We've got 32.9 ape heading to a listener this morning.
Whoever's out there, someone in the abstract chat or the YouTube chat will go today, or the X chat. Let us know if you sports. We will give you have the we're looking for someone to potentially win the free ape. We hit the parlay. We hit the clutch markets parlay.
Yeah, check out Clutch Markets. Actually, Simple Farmer's doing some. He opened a chat. He's been doing some trading, and he's been printing recently, actually. So go check out Clutch Markets, ape.clutch.market to fire your own parlay and join the winning streak. We're gonna run pure this weekend. Well, so actually, if I hit today, I'll do another one Sunday. So Monday's winner might actually be double dipping, or we might have 2.
Yeah. As far as our OpenSea discussion this morning, by the way, Dort put out a poll in the war room. Who is winning the debate? Cap, Steve. There is 1 vote Cap, 1 vote Steve, and the rest of the votes are for we are all losing. So there you go. I'll have to look because I'm sure we both got properly roasted in the war room, and I haven't been in there this morning. So yeah, it is what it is. So I don't know. I mean, good show though overall. I'm glad we closed out on Rekt. I mean, Cap and I say this all the time. We will debate and argue, and we're going to laugh after this show. We are all good. It is great, and I enjoy the conversation. I truly do, and I try to really enjoy having the other opinions. And a spirited debate has to happen. I think it's like once a month at least on this one, so that we're not just my 2 dads over here. So, thanks everyone who came through this morning. Look, let's set everybody off into their weekend. I'm excited to potentially even get some of this new Rekt drink. I'm excited for my Rekt drinks to get here today. And we look forward to talking to everybody bright and early Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.